Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got a new series or a potential new series, I should say. How to make grow a garden. I believe that's what the game is called. It's a very popular game and stuff. Very simple concept. That's like it had like a million people playing it today, which is crazy. But yeah. So I am going to show you guys how to make it. This is part one. I'm just gonna show you guys how to do the like setting up the garden and everything, and then setting up like just like a little leader stats and stuff. Like most of the coding and everything will be like in part two and part three because it probably will take long enough just to design the stuff. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get straight into the video. As you guys already know, if you want part two, part three, and more parts, just show the video, love and support. Let me know you want part two, and I got y'all. All right, so first things first, of course, let's go ahead and knock out the UI, then we'll get to making all the stuff. I do want to clarify something. I'm not a UI designer, nor am I a map builder or whatever. So I'm just gonna make this stuff to the best of my ability and stuff from like the pictures I took from the game and everything. You guys, it's up to y'all to make it look nice and everything. But yeah. So let's head on over to Starter GUI. We're gonna insert a screen GUI, right? You're going to want to rename the screen GUI to core GUI. Bam. You're going to want to disable reset on spawn. Then you're going to want to insert a frame. Rename this frame to teleport frame. Then you're going to want to set the size to like, I want to say like 400 by 100. So something like that. Then just drag it to like the middle of the screen. Set the background transparency to 1. You're then going to insert a text button into the frame, right? You can rename this text button to seeds text button. As you probably guessed, these are the text buttons at the top of the screen, where if you click them, it'll teleport you to either right in front of the seeds shop, the sell, we can sell your plants or your garden. So first we have the seeds text button. I'm gonna try to match the colors. So bold, rich text, scale text, change the text to seeds. I believe it's actually all caps, I think. So we'll say seeds. Text color will be white. Text stroke color will be black. Text stroke transparency will be set to 0. Background color will be a nice, I think this is like a navy blue kind of thing. So we'll just do like something, we'll do something like that, right? So seeds, right? Then we're going to go ahead and let me move this a little to the left. Then I'm going to duplicate this. So while having it selected, Control plus D, or just duplicate it in the top left. Then we're just going to drag this over. We need to leave a lot of space in the middle and stuff, right? So let me drag it down actually a little bit. So like, yeah, like right there. So then for the second button, right, you're going to want to rename this button to cell text button, right? Change the background color to red, right? And then just change the text to the word cell, right? Then you can just duplicate this, Control D, or duplicate in the top left. Now the garden button is a little bit bigger than the other buttons, so let's make it a little bit bigger. So we're gonna do like 250. That might be too wide. Maybe 225. So we're gonna do like 225, and then we're going to expand this by like 75. Yeah, like that. Make that 75, then put it in the middle. Gonna give it a brown background color, so something like um I need to get brown. So let me figure out. Hold on, let me get brown real quick because none of those colors look brown. This is brown. What is this? 86, 66, 54. Okay. 86, 60. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I forgot that. 86, 66, 54. Oh, close enough. Okay, there we go. So we have brown, so you could just type that in to get brown. Border size would be 2. Border colors, green, bright green. Rename the text button to garden. That's graded, okay. Garden text button. Then we will go to the text, change it to garden. Oh, honestly, I don't know if garden is in all caps or not. I honestly don't know. I mean, it's up to y'all. Y'all can do listen, the only thing that's important is that you do the names right and stuff. You guys can change fonts, colors, sizing. That's completely up to y'all. All that matters is that, like, you name everything just like I did. But yeah, so we're done with the UI. Let's go ahead and let's get to making the garden, right? So so the way this is going to work, right? The way our system is going to work, right? There's like, I don't know how many gardens there are in an actual server. I think it's like 6 or whatever. But yeah, so you have a garden and whatnot, right? So all we got to do is make one, and then we can just duplicate it, right? So first things first, let's go ahead and make a fence. So let's do, oh, did not mean to open the toolbox. So let's do it like this. We're gonna insert a block, right? I'm gonna need y'all to stick with me on this, or I mean, you can really do your own thing. It doesn't really matter. Well, no, it kind of does. Yeah, just do what I do. So let's go ahead, let's get our parts. This is going to be our like bottom support, I guess, kind of thing. So I'm gonna scale this out a little. Let me do it like this actually, so it's in front of the spawn. So scale this out a little bit, right? This is gonna be like our support kind of thing. I'm going to make the color brown, change the material to wood, because this is our fence. Then I'm going to duplicate this, so Control D while having it selected. Then I'm going to move it over. This is going to be our entrance, so we need to leave a little space, a little gap in between it. Then I'm going to duplicate this again, so Control D while having it selected, Control plus D. Then drag it above, Control D again, and then drag it over here, right? Now what we need to do is we need to have supports and stuff to hold the fence up and stuff, right? So let's insert another part, then just do the same thing, change color to brown, material to wood, then we will scale it and stuff. Like I said, I'm just doing this just to match it to the best of my ability and stuff. It's not gonna look, it ain't gonna look the best, but you know. So, oh, did not mean to do that. So I'm gonna scale it so it's the same size, and then we're gonna do it like that, then like that. Okay. Perfect, right? And then now we're gonna do a lot of duplicating. I'm just letting y'all know. Saves yourself a lot of time. So I'm just gonna duplicate, then move this over. Instead, I'm just gonna eyeball the spacing. Duplicate, move, duplicate. Like this is literally going to be like probably 1/3 of the video. Not gonna lie to y'all. So then just duplicate, move, duplicate, and then move, and then move this down a little bit so it's like in between. Okay, there we go. Right, and then we can just wait. Damn, I feel kind of stupid. Why didn't I just? Yeah, I just really kind of stupid actually. So delete these two. I just realized I'm kind of dumb. It would have actually made more sense for me to just make this. Then we can just select all of that and then just duplicate this and then just move it over. I feel kind of stupid. Okay, there we go. Then this will be our entrance. There we go. Okay. So then what we're gonna do is we're going to need to duplicate this, but so let's do it like, or actually let's group this up first, right? So select everything we just did. So select all of it. You don't even need to name the parts. You can name the parts. I mean, in actual game, I would hope you would name the parts, but it's up to y'all. So select everything. You're going to press Control plus G to group everything together, or you could right click and just press group. So you're going to want to rename this to front fence. We need to keep track of everything. So front fence. So we've grouped it together. So now it all acts as like one kind of entity or like one part and stuff. I mean, you can open it up and modify the individual parts, but yeah. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find the one of either the bottom or the top pieces. So just keep clicking until you find there we go. Then you're going to duplicate this, drag this over. I want to rotate this, so I'm just going to go down to the orientation. Let's try the X. Okay, X doesn't work. Apparently X and Y are swapped, so let's change Y. 90 degrees, there we go. Okay, then so we rotate it, then we're just going to move this. Okay, did I mean to do that? Ah, dang, now I have to guess what, oh, there we go. Okay, so once you duplicate the part, by the way, find the part. It should be the last part, by the way. It should be like all the way at the bottom. And then just drag it into the workspace so it's out, so it's no longer grouped inside a front fence. So then we're going to attach it right here. Again, I know it's not exact, as you can clearly tell, but you know, close enough. That's all that really matters. We're not going for accuracy. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be a little off, I'm not gonna lie. Good enough, good enough. Okay. So we're gonna do that. We definitely need this to be much wider, so scale is down like that. I think that's good and stuff. Again, up to y'all for how wide y'all want y'all fencing to be. It's up to y'all. Okay, so once we're done with that, we're going to duplicate this part, drag it down to be our, our base support for it, right? Then I'm going to go back to the front fence, find any one of the supports. It can be literally any one. You're going to duplicate this, then take that duplicated part, drag it into the workspace, close out the front fence, and then you're just going to move that duplicated piece over here and then just start using it. Okay, so it is flipped the wrong way. So let me go to orientation and flip it. So it's okay. That didn't fix that. Which direction? Okay, not that direction. There we go. Okay, so same as what we did before. So then we're gonna move this like this. Then we're just gonna drag it right there. I could scale it so that it fits. Yeah, I could scale it so that it fits type thing, right? Then duplicate this, space it out, duplicate, bam, duplicate, or that might be a little too far out. Duplicate. This is most of what the video is going to be comprised of, not going to lie to y'all. Duplicate. But again, it gets easier once we finish. Like once you finish one side, you can just duplicate the entire thing and then just move it over to the other side and stuff. This is exactly why I wanted part one to just mostly be setting up the actual guard, and then like setting up the shop and what's the other thing? The shop and the cell systems and all the scripting and everything in like part 2 and 3. Okay, and then let's drag this at the end. There we okay there. Whoa. I did not know you could do that. That's cool. Okay. So we have finished the right side of the fence. So we're gonna look at this from like the front view. So like from the entrance, you're gonna look at it like that. So this is the front, that's the right. So we're gonna go over here. You're gonna select everything, right? Select everything. Make sure you deselect obviously the front fence and stuff. And then if you make sure you have all the parts selected, so you can just hold Control on your keyboard and then just left click to select any parts that weren't already selected. So then Control G to group it again. This will be our right fence, right? Oh, I forgot to actually say something. Make sure you anchor all of the parts, because if you don't anchor the parts, here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna, oh, well, hold on, let me demonstrate for you guys real quick. If you don't anchor the parts, yeah, that's gonna happen. It's not really gonna be a fence. So all you're gonna do is right click on each fence, click select children, scroll down, anchor. Do that again with the front fence, and then we should be good after this. Then anchor. So now when we duplicate, the parts will already be anchored. Okay. So then take the right fence, duplicate it, and then just move it over. All you gotta do is literally just move it over and line it up correctly. Let's see, and that's just like a little bit to the right. Okay, we are just going any which way. All right, there we go. And then just rename this to left fence. To left fence, right, right. I have an idea. I'm wondering if it would be easier to just take the front fence and then just like bring it back and then just like scale it to the back, or okay, let's take the front fence, duplicate this, then you're gonna move it all the way to the back, line it up with the right and left fence. Okay, once you've done that, rename it to back fence. Right, rename it to back fence. Then you're gonna go inside. You're gonna have to find the long parts. Okay, there we go. And then you're just gonna simply just scale them. Scale them across so that they connect. Then we gotta find one of the top pieces. There we go. Okay, I don't know what I just clicked. Okay, there we go. And then just scale this over. So just keep clicking parts until you find them. All right, and then now let's go into the actual supports. Right, let me find this support right here because I want to move this over actually. So let's find the support. So find any one of the supports and then just duplicate them. This is literally the last one. That's crazy. So then we space this out, duplicate, so that we can close off the fence. By the way, just a little tip: when you add something new, it's going to automatically be at the bottom. So as you can see, when I duplicate something, it's automatically at the bottom. There we go. Okay, and just like that, our fences are complete, and that only took 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are 1/3 done with the garden now. Let's go ahead and take out, or no, because I haven't grouped everything yet. Okay, we'll do that at the end. So now let's get on to the seed beds, right? Which are the little, where you actually plant the seeds, which this is much more simple than that. So insert a part, right? Again, make sure you're doing it in a workspace and not inside of one of the groups. You can really scale this down to like the bottom, I think. And then I'm gonna make this a little wide. It's like that. These are gonna be our seed beds. Now this color was definitely brown. I remember that. This is it's supposed to be like a light brown. I mean, it's dark orange, but it's close enough. And then, no, not this part. Yeah, I don't think this part is supposed to be. I guess it would be grassy, kinda. I mean, wouldn't it technically be the material grass because we're growing grass? You know what? It actually, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna set it back to plastic. If I can find plastic, I cannot find plastic. I'm unable to find. Okay, I found plastic. All right. So then let's go ahead and rename this to seed bed, right? So we know where the seed bed is. We're gonna need to name that for coding stuff for when we get to the scripting part and later parts. Insert another part. Then this is gonna be your like little barrier wall kind of thing, right? So simply scale it around it. Boom, right? Change the color. This is supposed to be like a dark brown. I know that. Um, Now this is supposed to be wood. I know that, right? Then duplicate this, move it over here, then duplicate it, move it to like the middle, then do the same thing we did, just rotate it. So find the orientation. That's the wrong one. Flip it, set Y to 90, and then just move it over here. There we go. Okay, not there we go. I need to balance this properly. And then obviously it's not going to fit, so you're going to have to scale it a little bit. Okay, there we go. Then duplicate this, move it over here, and just like that, we have almost successfully completed our seed bed. Okay, there we go. All right, so seed bed, then you're going to make sure you grab all of the parts. Make sure you, of course, anchor them. Group them together by right-clicking, and you can press group as a model. Make sure you model, not folder. Then rename to seedbed, and then we're gonna keep them numbered. So seedbed 1 for this, right? Make sure you have the actual seedbed part though. Number to seedbed or name seedbed, right? Then, right, you can just drag this into like the corner. Then now we just duplicate. So Control D, get over, Control D, and then here's the thing: we can save even more time now, right? Because now what we get to do is highlights those three. If I can grab the third one, okay. Control D, drag it over, Control D, bam. Then now all I'm gonna do is just go through and then just assign each one its own individual number. I felt it was important to distinguish between each seedbed so that, I don't know. I just feel like when it comes time to like code everything, so as you guys can see, I'm just, incrementing by one stuff. So seedbed 1 to like, I think this is 9. So 6. So just name them. If you guys want to name them in order or anything, like, that could be 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. Like, that's up to y'all and stuff. I'm just gonna go random and stuff. So seedbed 8 and lastly seedbed 9. Okay, we are 2/3 done with setting up the garden. All right. So now that we're done with that, right? By the way, you can have as many as you want. You don't have to have 9 seed beds. You can have more, you can have less. That's completely up to y'all and stuff, right? Completely up to y'all. Just again, naming is the important thing. Completely up to y'all. Okay, now for the last thing, the sign, which is the simplest part and stuff, right? So you're going to want to go ahead and click parts, or click the arrow, I should say, under part. You're going to want to insert a cylinder, right? You're going to want to scale this, make this a little skinnier, go up just a little bit. It's going to be like a little stub kind of thing, right? Make sure you change the color to brown, change the material to wood. We're going to make this a sign. This is going to be the sign where it's going to have whether or not, the garden is currently owned and the player's name on it. So insert a part, put it at the top, scale it so it looks nice. It fits. Bam, bam, and bam. So just have something like that. All right. Background color to brown, material to wood. That is snow. Okay. Wood. So now, you're gonna want to rename this part, like the actual sign, to actual sign. That'll be the name of it. So actual sign, because we're gonna name the group sign. So then you're gonna want to insert a surface GUI so that we can have the text label. So insert a surface GUI into the actual sign. Disable reset on spawn, rename the surface GUI to sign GUI, then insert a text label into sign GUI. You're going to notice that the text label will be on a random side and stuff. What you have to do is you have to go to sign GUI and you have to, okay, did not mean to do that. Sign GUI, you have to find face. That's the direction it's facing. You literally are going to like just go through them, like just go through each option until it ends up in the front. Because as you can see, it's the right side, yet it's the front, right? Because obviously this is the right side of the part. The part front is, I think, that way and stuff, right? Then rename this text label to sign text label. Then let's do some customization. Bold text, rich text, scale text. By default, it should say empty garden. Then text color should be white. Or text stroke color should be black. Text stroke transparency will be set to 0. Background transparency will be set to 1, and then we can just make the size of the text label like the size of the thingamajig. We could do like 400. Oh, that would be the wrong thing. 250? No. 270. Okay, 260. So 260 by like 150. Yeah, 260 by 150. There we go. Looks perfect. Okay. Then now we're going to take the part. So this is we can name this sign support, right? So you're going to take both of those parts, select them, anchor them, then Control G, Control plus G, I should say, group them together, name, and then you want to name this sign, right? And then let's just rotate it so it's, facing to the side. And then boom, okay, now we've successfully made a garden. Now let's select everything. So you can just grab everything, make sure everything's selected, then group all of that together, Control plus G. Then you're going to name this garden 1, right? Now all you would have to do now is just simply duplicate, move, right, and then just rotate. That's all you would have to do. It's just simply rotate, right? That's simple, and then yeah, there you go. Now you can just make as many gardens as you want. Okay. And then obviously you need to change the name to Garden 2, right? Keep incrementing. One last thing we need to add into them. So I should have probably did this before I duplicated it, but anyway. So you see Garden 1, right? Plus icon, you're gonna want to insert a string value. This string value is going to be referred to as owner, right? This is how we're gonna keep track of whether or not a garden is owned and if who owns the garden. So by default, the value should be set to none, right? And then make sure you duplicate this and you put this inside of the other garden, or like it needs to be inside of each garden you have, right? And make sure its value is set to none by default. Okay, just like that, we are done and stuff. As you can see, we're already 20 minutes. Now that I think about it, we're only 20 minutes in. I really could have, I could have included the NPC scripting and stuff for like selling and buying stuff. Well, it's fine. We'll just do that in part 2. Okay. So for the next thing we're gonna do, just a tad bit of scripting and stuff. It's really not much. So we're gonna make it so that a player has currency, and two, what's it called? Oh, make it so that they can claim that it'll automatically claim a garden upon the player joining. So let's go to server script service plus icon, insert a script. You're gonna want to rename the script to core script. Okay, I spelled that right. In parentheses, put server, because we will have a local script when we come back. So delete print hello world, you're going to do game.players.player added connect function, close parentheses, player, short for the player who joined. Now, what was the current shekels? That's what it's called, shekels. Okay, so we're going to first create a folder called leader stats so that we can display how much money the player has. So leader stats is equal to instance.new. It's going to be a folder, right? Then you're going to say leader stats name is equal to leader stats. You're going to parent leader stats to the player. Then you're going to create a shekels value. So shekels is how much money the player has. You can call it whatever you want. So it's equal to instance.new. This is okay. This is going to be a number value. Shekels.name is of course equal to shekels. And then now at first I was gonna put 0, but I'm pretty sure you can't. You need to be able to buy stuff. So you can set the default value to whatever you want. I'm just gonna say 100. Then .parent is equal to leader stats, right? And then now we need to make it so that when the player joins, they not only have their shekels, it also automatically assigns them to a garden. And it automatically assigns them to a garden and stuff, or an empty one, I should say. So we're going to use a for I loop. We're going to say for I, comma v in pairs. You're going to say workspace, get children, enter. You're going to say if v find first child. This is why we needed the owner value. We're going to say if v find first child owner. So if it has the owner value, that means it is a garden. And we need to make sure that it's currently not owned. We do that by checking the current value to see if it's equal to none. We will say and v find first child owner dot value is equal to and then enter. Right. Oh wait, actually not thinking, but we didn't need to do the whole v find first child because it's already we could have just did v. We could have just v dot owner dot value. Yeah, it's equal to none. So if that's the case, then we'll create a variable because this is now a garden, or well, it already was, but yeah, it's an available garden, I should say. Then I'm going to say garden dot owner dot value is equal to player dot name And then I'm going to update the sign. So as you can remember this the sign we have over here. So I'm going to say garden dot sign dot actual sign dot sign GUI dot sign text label dot text is equal to player dot name dot 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 quotation marks space colon, wait, not colon, what's it called, what is that called, um a single quotation mark s, so s, what is it called, garden, yeah, yeah, yeah. So okay, there we go. So now if we test the game, if we click play, you guys will see it'll automatically choose one of, okay. I am so glad I tested that. I'm so glad I tested that because before I did the video, I only used one garden, so I didn't know. Okay, clearly it's glitched to where it'll assign me to all of them. So the way we fix that, you can't break out of this because it's, wait, oh, you can? Right, it's a for loop. Right. Okay, so just put the word break after and stuff, which pretty much just means it'll, and once this occurs, it'll once it gets to this point, it'll just end it. So it'll only happen. This ensures it only happens once. Yep, there we go. I own that one, and then I don't own the other one. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, that's part one. If you guys want access to this model or any of the scripts, and any of my future scripts or models or any of my other scripts or models, you guys can become either a channel member or a Discord subscriber. Link to either one of those options can be found in the description and stuff. Highly recommend that and stuff. As I said, if you guys want part two and future parts, all you gotta do is just show the series love and support, and I got y'all with another part and stuff. So just show it love and support, and I'll hit y'all with a part two. And part two will probably cover teleports and stuff. We set up the UI, now we're just gonna make it work. So we'll teleport, and we'll have the NPCs, so that we'll have the NPCs sell stuff and sell and buy things from you. So yeah. If you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Yo, what's good on today's video? I got part two of how to grow a garden and stuff. As you guys remember in part one, we set up the UI as well as the actual garden and everything. So I added some new stuff. We're gonna add a shovel teleport system so you can teleport between, the seeds, so the shop, the cell, and your garden. Um, Added a shop system so you can buy seeds, and then also added an inventory system to store them. Part three will cover the cell system, which to get to the cell system, we have to first get to the plant system so that you can plant seeds, which then means we also have to cover the grow system. So we kind of have, that's why I decided to break it up and just focus mainly on just buying stuff. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay, so as you guys know, in Grow a Garden, there's a shovel where you walk up to the, what's it called? You walk up to the seeds, or it's more so like the plants when they finish growing, you can destroy them and stuff. So let's go ahead and make the shuffle. It's a simple tool and stuff. So I'm just gonna make a basic one, right? Um, as always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, just look in the description. Just read the description. But anyway, so go to workspace, plus icon, insert a tool, or just type the word tool if you don't see it, right? You're gonna want to rename this tool to shovel, right? Then you're going to want to insert a part into the shovel. Let's make this we'll make this the blade. So like the bottom part of the shovel. So we'll call this the blade. I will scale this to be like this. Bam. Bam. I want to see that's good. Then I'm going to make it dark gray. Make it a dark metallic gray. Right? That's our blade. Right? Then I'm going to insert a cylinder. Right? Then I'm going to scale this so that it's a lot skinnier. Do it like that. Bring this at the top, right? This is going to be our, you could just call this the middle, because it's just really the middle part, right? It's going to be the middle. So the way you want this is, let's move this up into the air. You're going to want to rotate this. So let's just flip the orientation. So let's do, this is for the shovel, by the way. So that's the wrong thing. 90. That's the wrong thing. Let me just reset this altogether. It might be easy, honestly. Yeah, okay, there we go. There we go. So we need it upright. Then we want to move this upward, right? And then you want to just kind of just get it close enough. Position it to where you want it to be. So right there, and then just get it nice and close. And there you go. There we go. So just like that. Okay. So then we have our middle piece, right? And then you want to drag this into the shovel as well. And then you can really duplicate the middle piece. So select it, duplicate. You want to simply just move it downward just a little bit. This is going to be our handle. So you want to make this color a nice dark gray, right? And then you want to rename this to handle. This is very important. This has to be named handle, as this is where the player will hold on to it. So then you're just going to scale it down so it's like that. That'll be our handle. Then for the middle, I'm just going to change it so it's wood. So I'm going to change the brown and just make the material wood. And just like that, we have ourselves a shovel. Last things, we need to weld the pieces together and stuff. Or also, hold on. So select everything. So you can right click, then click select children, or select one, then hold the control key bind, and then just left click all of them. You need to make sure that the parts are not anchored, and also make sure can collide is not turned on, right? What you need to do is weld them together. So simply insert a weld constraint into the parts. Make sure you weld each part to where like it makes sense. Don't weld the blade to the handle, because you see how like they're far apart. You want to weld the blade, right? So part 0 will weld the blade to the middle, right? Then for the handle, we will use a weld constraint. We will weld the handle to the middle part, right? Boom, nice and simple. We have our shovel. You can go ahead and put that inside of starter pack since the player spawns in with that. We have completed our shovel. Now, one thing I added to the garden system is teleporters. You guys, I mentioned the teleport system and stuff, right? Which means we need to have a part that like we teleport the player to, so that they spawn in front of their garden. So inside of each garden, you're just gonna want to insert a part, right? And then you're just gonna want to put this part like in front of your garden. It's up to you, right? You just want to name the part teleporter. Teleporter. Make sure this part is inside of the garden, of each garden and stuff, right? So you could just name it teleporter, right? They all need to have the same name, by the way. So just do teleporter, right? Something like that. You want it to be transparent. You want it to be anchored, and disable can collide, right? So there is our teleporter. Then just duplicate it and then just put it inside of your other garden and stuff. You need this for all your gardens, and then obviously make sure you move it over and stuff, since this is for the second garden. And then boom, right? Just like that, we finished our teleporters. Then now we need our NPCs to buy and sell. So click avatar at the top, then rig builder, block avatar. Again, these are just the default rigs and stuff. You guys can go to the toolbox to get your own NPC models or make your own and stuff. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So I'm just gonna rotate it and stuff by selecting it and holding R. Then you're gonna want to rename one of them to buy. This is where you'll come to buy stuff, right? And then you can make the whole stand and everything, like where the NPC stands behind it and everything, and build a stand. I'm not gonna do that and stuff. That's the whole point of this, is to show you the scripting, really the scripting, not really the design and stuff. So yeah, you guys can make that. So we're gonna make the buy NPC. You're simply gonna want to insert a proximity prompt into the buy NPC, right? And then you can adjust certain things. The hold duration this makes it that like they have to hold down the keybind and stuff to open up the menu and stuff. So you could set that time to whatever you want it to be, and then you could change the key code if you want and stuff. I'm gonna change the text to talk, right? And then you're simply just going to duplicate the buy NPC, just move them over, and then this would be your sell NPC. So sell. Boom. That's all you got to do for the NPCs, right? Now we're going to move on to our seed folder. So head on over to server storage, plus icon, insert a folder. You're going to want to name this folder seeds folder. You're going to keep track of all the seeds here. So like if let's say for your game you want to have 10 different seeds, you're going to need to put the information for the seeds in here. So these are going to be number values. So plus icon, number value. The name is going to be whatever the name of the seed is, right? Now don't put carrot, for example. You need to put carrot plus seed, plus the word. So like it has to have the word seed at the end, with space and everything. Then the value is going to be the price. That's going to be whatever the price is for said seed. So I'm going to say 10. I'm going based off of the price in the actual game. Then I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to rename this to strawberry seed, and I'm going to set the price to 50, right? So whenever you want to add a new seed into your game, you just simply go here, insert a number value, name it. Its name would be whatever the name of the seed is, and then the value would be whatever the price is for the seed, right? This is our seeds folder inside of server storage, right? And these are number values and stuff, right? So just go in and add them. It's a, when you want to and everything. So yeah. Okay, we're done with that. Now let's move on to the UI changes. Let me just double check. Okay, we are good. So head on over to Core GUI, open that up, right? So what we need to do is we need to insert a new frame. So plus icon frame. Let's go ahead and do the shop frame first. So let's go ahead and rename this frame to shop frame. I'm going to drag this to the middle of the screen, right? As for the sizing, I think I'm gonna do 300 by 250. I think that's what I'm going to do. 250, yeah, something like that. Or I might actually do 270 and then just drag this up. Yeah, so something like that, right? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a UI corner into it so that give it round, make the Y value 20. I'm going to make the background color brown. Just the closest brown I have. Might make it a little darker. Yeah, something like that. And then I'm also going to insert a UI stroke into it to give it a nice color. Again, customization is up to you guys. It's really just the names and stuff. That's what's really just important. So then I'm just going to give this, I think it's like a darker color. Yeah, just like a darker color. Make it a little thick. And yeah. So then I'm going to go ahead and insert a text button into the shop frame. This is going to be our close text button. This is how you're going to be able to close the shop. So I'm going to set the background transparency to 1, right? We're going to do bold text, rich text, scale the text, set the text to an X, capital X. Text color will be white. Text stroke color will be red. And then text stroke transparency will be set to 0. And then you could just do the size. You could just set the size to like 50 by 50. And then you could just simply drag this over to the top right of your screen. There we go. There will be our close text button. Then we can go ahead and insert a scrolling frame into our shop frame. So a scrolling frame, this is where your C's are going to be. So you can put it like right here under the close button, and then we can size it. You can size it out. So like maybe 200 to, let's try 220. 230 might be stretching it. Okay, no, that should be good. Yeah, that should be good. And then we could do the Y by like 200. Okay, that's 20. 200, yeah, 200 should be good. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to set the background transparency for the scrolling frame, set that equal to 1. Probably best to make the scrolling bar image color something maybe a little. No, I think, well, black might work. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's really up to y'all and stuff. Maybe green. I don't know. It's up to y'all. But yeah, so then what you're going to do is you're going to want to rename this scrolling frame to seeds frame. This is where you're going to sell your seeds. Pause on that, but you're going to want to insert a UI grid layout into it, right? And then this UI grid layout, then you're going to want to insert a text button, right? You're going to want to name this text button to seed text button, right? Now let me go to the UI grid layout. This controls the sizing and stuff. So let's do this. Let's adjust the size a little bit. So let's do like 40 or no, like 50. So I think 120. I think like, or no, I think like 140. Yeah, like 140 by 50 should be good. So this is our seed text button, right? And this will control the sizing for it. So you just want to go and just do some customization. So I'm gonna set the background color to black. I'm gonna make the background transparency to 0.5, so a nice faded black, right? This is our text button, bold, rich text, scale text, set the text equal to the name of your seeds. Again, it's very important. So I'm gonna put carrot seed, very important. The text need to match the name, right? So inside the seeds folder, you see how it says carrot seed. I'm gonna put carrot seed, right? And then I'm gonna change the text color to white so we can actually see this. Text stroke transparency will be set to 0, and text stroke color will be black, right? So we have carrot seed, right? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert a text label into the seed text button, and then this is going to be called our price text label. This is going to display the price. So price text label, right? You could really make this 50, the size can be 50 by 50. So just throw in 50. Then you could just drag this to the right of it, right? And then you're going to want a bold text, rich text, scale text. You're going to put the price here. So I'm just going to say 10. Then obviously, you'd want, you just look at the values inside of the seeds folder to see, the prices for them, right? So then I would set background transparency for this, for the price text label to 1. I would make it the text color green. And then I would make the text stroke transparency, set that equal to 0. Text stroke color will be black. And then, yeah, just like that, we're done with that. And then you would just go here, you would just simply select, like, let's say you want to add a new seed to your shop system, you would just click duplicate, and then boom, it automatically move down for you. And then you can scroll up and down. So then for the second one, you would just simply, of course, change the text. So as you can see, the buttons are all going to be named the same. What's important is the text. The text will contain the name. So strawberry seed. So this is very important, right? So we'll say strawberry seed, and then you'll update the price. So this is 50. So bam, right? Just like that, we are done with and yeah, just like that, we are done with the shop system and stuff. So we're good there. Let's go ahead and set that, of course, not equal, not you. Bleh. Set it not visible. You do not want it to be visible. Then we can move on to the cell frame. Okay, so insert another frame into the core GUI. You're gonna want this to be kind of like in the bottom rightish kind of, right? You're gonna want this to be like I don't even know. I don't even know where to go with this. Like maybe 300 by 300, possibly. So like kind of be like the bottom right, like down here. Um, Maybe 300 by 280. That might actually be too tall now that I think about it. So maybe like 240. So like yeah, something like this possibly. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna set the background transparency equal to 1. Rename this frame to cell frame. So cell frame. So you're going to want to insert a text button, right? Our first button will be our inventory. So you'll name this cell inventory text button, right? I'm going to set the text equal to the same text in the actual game. So bold text, rich text, scale text, and then we're just going to sit here and we're going to say number 1, regular bracket, quotation marks, I want to sell my inventory. Bam, bam. And you guys don't have to do this. This is just, this is what they did in the actual one. And then obviously I'm gonna make the text button, I'm gonna make it a little longer since it needs to, we want it all to be like on one line. So 280, okay. 300? Dang. Okay. So we're then going to set the background transparency to 1. Text color will be white, text stroke transparency will be black, and text stroke color will be black, text stroke transparency will be set to 0, right? So this would be I want to sell my inventory, right? Then you're going to simply duplicate this, drag it right underneath it, right? Then you'll have your second button. So for this would be number 2. So we'll say number 2. Bam, bam, I want to sell this. Again, you don't have to do it exactly like the actual game did it. You can put whatever you want for the text. I'm just simply copying what they did. Then this is to sell an individual item, so you'll just call this sell text button. Then again, duplicate it, drag it underneath it, right? And then you'll want to name this what's it called? Where is it? Oh, right there. The name. So for this one, so be worth text button. So when you want to know the worth, the value of whatever, plant you have. So let's go to the text. Let's do number 3, right? And I'm going to say, how much is this worth? Bam. Then you'll duplicate it for one last time, drag it underneath. Then this will be number 4. And this will simply be number 4. And then this will just be never mind and stuff, which is essentially, this is just your close button. So you'll just go up here, you'll just rename this to close text button, right? And then yeah, just like that, we're done. I will say probably for the best that we make them smaller, probably for the best. Yeah, probably best that we decrease the Y value for them. So like maybe like 40 or like 30. Yes, yeah, something like that. And then if they're like too spaced out, all you gotta do is, just move them over. But like but the problem is if like they overlap, stuff you don't want them to overlap because then, it'll trigger stuff. Okay. So there we go. And then yeah. All right. Then once you're done with the cell frame, make sure it's not visible, right? Boom, we are done with the UI. Now we can get to the coding. All right, last part. Okay, so you're gonna want to head on over to starter player, insert a local script into starter player scripts. Then you're gonna want to rename this to core script in parentheses, put local. Delete print hello world. We're going to create three variables. First, create a variable for our player. Was equal to game.players.local player. Then create a variable for the core GUI. So core GUI is equal to player.player GUI wait for child core GUI. Then create a variable for our core remote event. So core event is equal to game.replicated storage wait for child. Now we need to create our remote event. Head on over to, we can close this by the way. Head on over to replicated storage, plus icon, remote event, rename this remote event to core event, then come back here and then just inside the quotation marks or between them, put core event, boom, we have our first three variables ready. Now let's go ahead and set up the teleport system. So as you guys remember with our teleport frame that we set up in the first part of the series, we're going to say for I comma v in pairs. You're going to say core GUI dot teleport frame get children enter. You're going to say if v is a text button, we need to confirm first enter, then v dot activated to account for both mobile and PC players. Connect function, close parentheses, enter. You're going to say if v dot name is equal to seeds text button. This means you want to get teleported over to the seeds spawn, so enter. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to have it for the seeds in cell. I'm going to have it so that it simply just teleports them to like in front of them, but not having a teleporter. You could do a teleporter system just like this where you have an actual teleporter, or you could just do it to where you just teleport it, like you just use the C frame coordinates of like their humanoid root part or something. I'm just gonna say their primary part, but you could use their humanoid root part C frame and stuff and just teleport them in front of them. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna say player dot character pivot to, and then you are going to say workspace dot by dot primary part. Remember that that's our NPC. So then C frame primary part, which is typically a character's humanoid root part. Then you're gonna say time C frame dot new -1 comma -1 comma -10. This is so that it spawns them in front of them. Then you're going to say else if v.name is equal to, then you're just going to do the same thing for the cell system. So cell text button, enter. Then you can just really copy and paste this, Control C, Control V. All you're going to do is just change this to cell. Boom. And then you just want to do it one more time. You're going to say else if v.name is equal to garden text button, enter, right? Then for this is going to be a little different. You're going to want to search all of the gardens in the workspace and then find which garden belongs to the player. So you'll say for I, oh, well, I guess that would be a second for element, so that'd be nested. Let's do for J comma F, or um, let's see. How do I want this to work? Let's just do J comma F. In pairs, we'll say workspace get children, enter, right? We're going to say if v find first child, similar to what we did on the server script. So v find first child owner. So if there's, so pretty much, first we got to confirm that it is a garden and stuff, right? And v dot owner dot value is equal to player dot name. Because if it's equal to the player's name, then that means they own that garden. So enter, then create a variable for the specific garden. Garden is equal to v. Then you'll simply just say player dot character pivot to garden. This is why I said you need to just name all of their spawns to just teleporter, or you call it spawn. So teleporter dot C frame, bam, right? So that specific garden's teleporter, right? And then okay, we're good. And then we are done with that first gigantic function. Then let's go ahead and set up the cell and buy stuff. So let's create variables for the NPCs. So cell NPC is equal to workspace wait for child cell Do the same thing for the by NPC. By NPC is equal to workspace, wait for child, by, right? Then I'm going to say cell NPC dot proximity prompt dot triggered connect function in parentheses, I'm sorry, close parentheses, enter. Then you're going to say core GUI dot cell frame dot visible is equal to true, right? Then you're just going to do the same thing we just did. You can really just copy and paste this. So select it, copy, space, then just paste it. Then you're just going to do by NPC and then just change this to shop. Bam. Right? Then you're done with that. So that will pretty much make it so that when they talk to the NPCs, they'll be able to get, or the UI will be open for them. Then you'll say core GUI dot shop frame dot close text button dot activated connect function close parentheses enter. You will then say core GUI dot shop frame dot visible is equal to false and stuff, so that the player can close the shop frame. Then we will use a for I loop. We will say for I comma v. In pairs, you will say core GUI dot shop frame dot seeds frame get children. So this is for when a player is trying to purchase seeds. So enter, you will say if v is a text button, enter v dot activated connect function close parentheses enter. You will then fire the remote event core event core event fire server in quotation mark put by comma v dot text because we need to send over the name of whatever the seed is. Then we can go ahead and save ourselves some time. You can go ahead and just really copy and paste this. So select it, copy, and then just go after it, and then just paste it. And then obviously this go around, you're just going to change the shop frame to cell frame, then delete the seed frames part. Right? Same concept applies, except since this is for the cell system, we're going to need to use if statement. So we'll say if v.name. We're just going to set up the close function. We're just going to say close text button, enter, then core GUI dot cell frame dot visible is equal to false and stuff, right? Obviously, we need to set up functionality for cell inventory worth and close text, or sorry, cell individual item, cell inventory or worth and stuff. We have to set that up, but that's gonna be in part 3. The video is already gonna be like 30 minutes long and stuff, so I was just gonna split it up into another video. I didn't want this to be like a 40-50 minute long part. So yeah, just like that, we are done with the local script. Let's move on to the server side now. So going back to our server script, inside the server script service, right, we're going to want to, of course, create a variable at the top for the remote event. So local core event is equal to, okay, game that replicated storage away for child core event. Then you're going to go after the shekels value. We're going to create a new value because I also made an inventory system. So you're going to want to copy the leader stats code. So just copy, paste, and then just name this. You just want to call this inventory, right? Then just select it, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. This would be a new folder parented to the player. This will keep track of all the player's current seeds as well as the plants and stuff. Like once they grow and everything. And once we set all that stuff up in the future. If we're not setting that up as of yet. Then we're done there. You're going to go after that. You're going to create a variable for the seeds folder inside of server storage. So seeds folder is equal to game.server storage, wait for child, seeds folder. Then you're going to say core event on server events connect function in parentheses put PLR, which is short for the player. Then event type, comma arg1, which is short for argument number 1. Enter. You will then say if event type is equal to in quotation marks by. Enter. Then you will create a variable for the seed name because it would have been sent over. So the seed name, we will then say if player dot leader stats dot shekels, which remember is the game's currency, dot value is greater than or equal to seeds folder. Remember our seeds folder, regular bracket seed name. So we're just going to go inside of the seed folder and then just see if we can find the name of said seed. Then you're going to say dot value. Remember that's the price. So if it's greater than or equal to that, then that means the player can buy it. So then you'll just say player dot leader stats dot shekels dot value is less than or equal to seeds folder seed name dot value, right? So you'll subtract it, and then you'll say if player dot inventory find first child seed name. So the reason we need to check for this enter is so that in the inventory system, like when I say inventory, I'm talking about like our folder we made, not the not like the player's like default inventory, like with tools and stuff, right? Let's say you already have one of the seeds, then we're not adding a new value. We're just simply incrementing that value and stuff, right? If you already have a strawberry seed, then we're just adding +1. We're not gonna add another seed kind of thing. Like obviously for the tools we are, but not for the actual inventory and stuff, not the players in front. I'm talking about the this inventory and stuff. We're just gonna store values. Um so we will say, so if we do find it, then all we're going to simply say is player.inventory seed name dot value is plus or equal 1. Then we will throw an else if. We will say else if not player.inventory find first child seed name. So if they don't find it, enter. Then that means we got to create the value, right? So then we will say local seed is equal to instance.new. It's going to be a number value, so we can keep track of how much there is. So number value seed dot name is equal to, of course, the seed name. Then seed dot value by default should be set to 1 because they now have 1. Then seed dot parent. Remember, it should be set to the player's inventory. Then you're going to go after that end, and then you're going to create the seed tool so that they can plant. But again, we're not setting up the planting system as of yet. That'll be either in part 3 or part 4. So then we'll create a variable for our seed tool. We'll go ahead and create that. So it's equal to instance.new tool, right? And then we will say seed tool dot requires handle. Make sure you set this to false because it's not going to be an actual thing we're going to hold. And then it'll say seed tool dot name is, oh my bad, dot name is equal to seed name seed tool dot parent is equal to player dot backpack. And yeah, so that's the plant. Oh, I just really have to do a weight system, but that's for the actual when it grows, not for the seeds. Well, anyway, so yeah, so that's it. Let's go ahead and test to make sure it works. If you guys are interested in any one of my scripts or models, you guys can just check out the description and find out more about how you can gain access to them. Okay, so if we equip the shovel, you'll notice that it's probably not facing the right direction. All you gotta do to fix that, go to workspace, find your character, find the tool, go to grip, find grip, and then orientation. You're just going to want to play around with this stuff until it's facing the right direction. So X obviously isn't what we're looking for. Let's try Y. Y is not what we're looking for. So let's try Z. So boom. Okay, that's the opposite direction. So let's do the opposite of that, -90. Now it's upward. Perfect. Then you're just going to grab the orientation, copy that, stop playing, go find the tool inside of Stutter Pack, find grip, go to orientation, paste that. Oh, wait, that's, wait, what did it just do that? Wait, it's supposed to, I'm very confused. It's supposed to, bro, what? Oh, well, okay, so apparently it didn't save it. Well, the point was, it said, yeah, so you just go back and then just do it again. But the point was, it was negative, it was 0, it was 0 by -90, I believe. And then once your tool is upward, there you go. You're good to go, right? And now we have our shovel. Obviously, we don't have it. We can't test like actually like it destroying stuff because we haven't made that as yet. We haven't even made a planting system yet. All right. So let's test teleports. So seeds, cell, as you can see we're in front of the NPCs. Garden, garden is not working. Okay, that's very interesting. For some reason, garden is not working. What's the problem with garden? Let's go up here. Oh, I see the problem. My bad, guys. My bad. I forgot since we're using J and F, I put V. I put V instead of F. My bad. So just go here, literally just change all the V's. Okay, just to clarify, for this, dear God, I did not mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. Okay. So just change for this, just the stuff, right? So change the V's here to F's. I just want to clarify that, right? Just change, yeah. Don't go changing these V's. Don't go changing that. Just down here. So F. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it should work. There we go. Okay. So seeds, garden, boom. All our teleports work. Perfect. Let's test the buy system. So if I talk, you'll see the shop pops up. I currently by default have 100 shekels. So if I can buy a carrot seed, boom, it goes straight into my Roblox inventory so I can go and plant it. We don't have the planting system yet. If I open up my inventory, you'll also see I have a carrot seed. If I buy another one, boom, it'll now say 2, and I also have it inside of my, I also have 2 carrot seed. tools, and then also we can buy a strawberry seed, and apparently that is not available, which means I probably spelt it wrong. That's what that means. Then just to test the cell system, which there we go, and stuff. Obviously, the only thing that works is the nevermind button. So boom, there we go. So yeah, um, yeah, I see what I did. I spelled it wrong. Yeah, this is why I said it's important that you make sure you spell them correctly. So strawberry seed. There we go. Okay, now if I try to go to purchase the seeds, yeah, there we go. I can buy strawberry seeds, and I can't buy anymore because I'm out of shekels. So yeah, there you go. That would be part 2 of how to make grow a garden. Like I said, if you guys are interested in any one of my scripts or models, you guys become either a channel member or a Discord subscriber. Link to either one of those options can be found in the description. Just check out the description. You'll find out how to gain access to stuff. If you guys are enjoying this series, definitely leave a like and subscribe. And stuff, let me know if you guys are enjoying it and you want, just show the video lots of love and support. And I got y'all with a part 3 and stuff. Just, continue showing the series lots of love and support. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make grow a garden part 3. You guys showed a lot, and I mean a lot of love on the series. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to do all that great when it first dropped. But no, y'all showed a lot of love and support, so I had to, of course, come up part 3 and stuff. And guys, I must say, please be patient, okay? And stuff. I have other things to do aside from the channel and whatnot, so I was a little busy with college stuff. That's why it took me a minute and stuff. But I got more parts coming for y'all. Don't worry. Grow a Garden and Forsaken, both series will be continuing. Don't need to worry and stuff. All right, and everything. So I got more coming for y'all. Don't need to worry. Just be patient, guys. But yeah, so. Definitely expect more Grow a Garden content. Continue showing the series love and support, and I'll continue with the videos. And yeah, thank you for all the love and support. And let's go ahead and get straight into the video. And sorry again for the delay. Okay, so with part 3, I wanted to add the growing system, or well, I guess first the planting system, where you can plant the seeds. You have the growing system, and then a collection system. I was going to do the cell system in part 3 as well, but it would have made the video probably 50 minutes long. I like to keep the parts between 20, no more than 30 minutes long. So I'll do selling system next, in part 4. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay. So before I get into any actual scripting changes, I want to show you guys the changes I made to the seeds folder. Okay, so you guys recall this is the folder where we have our seeds and stuff, right? So you'll see, as you can see, you're seeing multiple new things and stuff. Everything here is new except for the growth rate value. I want to explain each thing. Okay, so let's look at these two values, maximum size and minimum size. As you can see, they're the exact same thing as growth rate, or let me rephrase that, they're the exact same class. They're number values. All you got to do is click the plus icon on the seed, insert a number value. You're going to name one minimum size, name the other maximum size, right? I'm pretty sure you guys understand where we're going with this and stuff, right? This is going to be the range between how much a plant can weigh, that specific plant can weigh and stuff. It's going to randomize the number between the minimum and the maximum size values, right? It's going to randomize the weight of the plant and everything, right? When the player collects it and everything, right? And for the love of God, stuff is case. I didn't think I didn't have to say this, but I see a lot of people making mistakes like this. Programming in in all honesty, every language is case sensitive. So make sure you're naming everything exactly as I am. You know what I'm saying? Unless I tell you, you can just name it whatever and stuff, right? It's case sensitive. Uppercase and lowercase matters and stuff. Just so people know. So yeah, so you're gonna put maximum size, minimum size. The values you put do not matter. Put whatever you want for the values. All that matters is that you name it exactly as I have named it. Okay, so that's our maximum minimum size. As you can see, I did that for both the strawberry and the carrot seed, right? Okay, so that also reminds me, I'm pretty sure I did have a strawberry. I'm pretty sure I did have, yeah, I did have this in part 2. Anyway, so the next thing, we have the seed color. So I want to explain what this is. Oh, by the way, so yeah, make sure you rename them to, stuff. So this is a brick color. The way you do it, same thing. Plus icon, type brick color, right? All this means is it's just a color, and then it's just an easy way to just set a color, right? So you're going to want to rename it to seed color. This is going to be the name, I'm sorry, not the name, the color of the seed as it's growing and stuff. You usually want it to match the plant. So for a carrot and stuff, we would want our seed color. I don't know why, now I think about it, I don't know why I made this brown. It should be like an orange color, but yeah. So for a carrot, it's orange. For a strawberry, it's red. All you have to do is click the value and then just choose whatever color you want. It's a lot more simpler. It's a lot more simple than using a color 3 value in my opinion. So that's what I wanted to do. So just name it seed color and stuff again. Plus icon, brick color value, rename it to seed color, and set the value to whatever color you want. Okay, now to explain this, I'm gonna bring this to workspace so I can show you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this. Let me go find it. Okay, so this is our plant, right? This is our plant. But this is our final product, I should say. Like once the seed has fully grown, this is what we're going to see, right? Now I'm going to explain what this is. So, because you're looking at the icon and you're probably confused, this is called a union operation. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining what this is because it's not really relevant. If you guys want you guys want your own what's it called, nice models and stuff for the plants, either you make that or you go to the toolbox and you find those. That's what I did. This is from the toolbox stuff, right? And stuff, because again, I'm just a programmer. Don't ask me no questions about how to make this stuff and whatnot, right? But this is actually just, it is actually very simple to make. It's just parts. Like I'm gonna show you guys. Like it's just, so what this is, right? This is union operation. All that means is that it is multiple parts combined together. So here's what I'm gonna do, right? I'm going to separate, right? You'll notice how it's just four regular parts. You'll see it's just four regular parts just combined to one another. So I mean, if you wanted to make this, you could. It's very simple. I would recommend you make it something similar like this, and I'm gonna get into why, right? So the way my system works, I set the position of, I wanted to make this into just one part so that I could set its position. Because if you have it, like, let's say you have it grouped together, like a garden, for example, you can't set the position of the entire garden. You can only set the C frame of the garden. So it's a lot easier if I just have everything, combined into one part. So once you have all, once you make your plant, whatever and stuff, you're gonna get all the parts. You're gonna select all parts. So you select one and hold the control key bind and then select them, right? Or you can just do that, right? You're going to click model at the top. You're going to find union. Union just combines them into one part, right? It just combines them into one part. And then if you want to edit them, you would just click separate, right? And then that would separate the parts and stuff, right? And then you want to rename it to plant. Again, this is going to be our final product. This is what it's going to look like when it's done and stuff, right? So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Again, you go to the toolbox, you find you some plant models, or you make it yourself. Don't ask me about it. I don't make models. Okay, so once you're done with that, again, it needs to be either a single part. So like you could totally do this. If you want to be simple, you could totally just have like a regular part if you wanted to just do it like this. Like if you don't feel like doing a whole thing, you could totally just have a regular part just like that. That'll work too. It needs to be either a part or a union operation, which is just parts, which essentially is just a part. It's just multiple parts combined into one part and stuff, right? So boom. Once you have your plant, you're going to put it inside of your seed, and you're going to want to rename it, like I said, to plant. Then inside of said plant, you see we have a proximity prompt. You're going to want to click the plus icon. Insert a proximity prompt into said plant. The proximity prompt is so that the player can collect the plant once it's finished growing, right? So you're going to, of course, disable it, the enabled property, because you want this to be enabled once the plant has finished fully growing, right? You want to change the hold duration. This can be set to whatever you want. I'm going to do 0.5 seconds. You can set that to whatever you want. You definitely, very important, disable requires line of sight. This will literally not work if you don't disable, if you do not disable this. So disable require line of sight, and then you could change the text to, like collect or pick up or something, right? And then boom. So proximity prompt goes inside of the plant goes inside of your seed, inside of the seed folder. And then we have both of those for the strawberries. Again, it's the same thing. The strawberry one, it's the same thing. It's just, just like, it just looks different, but it's literally just parts, right? So yeah, so you're going to put those inside of your seeds. I think that's pretty, simple and easy to explain and everything. So you're going to have those inside of your seed folder, whatnot. Tell you what, actually, I will leave a link to where I got this. Yeah, I'll do this to make it, because I see people struggle a lot with this series so far. So I'll help you guys out. I will leave a link to this. Not, well, okay, it's gonna be different, but I showed you guys how to union it. The way, like, I'm gonna show you guys the thingamajig. Let me go get it real quick. If I go to recent things, right, right here, this is what I got it from. Right, so I got it from this. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description to help you guys out. So you would just go here, right? Go to carrots. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be extremely tedious, but what you're gonna have to do is you're just gonna like find the carrot that you want to keep. Like, so let's say I want to keep the bottom left, and then you're just gonna go through and just like delete the other ones. Like, it's like that. I hope that doesn't sound difficult. Like you're literally just deleting the parts for like everything that's not the carrot that you want to keep. So I'm just gonna keep deleting and stuff. I feel like I have to kind of show and explain this because people tend to be confused even about the simple things. So as you can see, I'm deleting everything. I just want to keep the bottom left carrot. So I'm just going to okay, wrong thing. So I'm just going to ignore that and then go for boom. Okay. So once I'm down to this carrot, right, you're then going to select everything. So hold the control key and left click. Then you would drag it out of the group, put it into the workspace. Then you would model union and then rename it to plant. And there you go. So that's how y'all do it. I'll leave a link to the grouped model and stuff. That's a public model in the toolbox. I'll leave a link to that in the description, help y'all out and stuff. But yeah, so once you're done with that, you'll return your plant. It'll be inside of your seed, and yeah, okay, just like that, we should be good to go with that. Now we can get into the actual coding thing stuff. Let me just make sure we're good. Okay. All right, so let's open up the core local script. We're not going to be here too long. Just scroll all the way down, right? We're going to make it so that you're able to plant seeds. So create a variable called UIS. I'm going to say is equal to the game, get service, user input service. Then we're going to say UIS that input began, connect, function, in parentheses, put input, comma, process. Enter, you'll say if input.user input type is equal to enum.user input type dot mouse button 1. So whenever the player clicks and not process, which means the player is not clicking while they're in chat and stuff, enter. Then you'll create a variable. We'll get the player's current mouse position, which is equal to player get mouse.hit.position. Then we will get the target. So we'll say is equal to player get mouse dot target. Now, just to clarify what this is, you can see right here. It's the object in the 3D mouse, right? What that pretty much just means is it means whatever object your mouse is currently hovering over, right? So at the moment, if I left click while the game was playing and stuff like that, the object would be the base plate right here. It would be the seed bed. Right here it would be the outside of the seed bed, like one of the the barriers, the fence, right? And stuff. It needs to you need to make sure that the player's mouse is like directly on the seed bed itself and not like the player's trying to plant on like the base plate or like the floor or something. So we're gonna get the target, then you're gonna confirm. So if target, so of course make sure that their mouse intersected with an actual object, because they could just put their mouse at the sky and stuff, right? We don't want any errors. So say if target and target.name, of course, we got to check to make sure it is equal to seed bed, right? Enter. This is why I said it's very important that you just name the part inside of the seed bed, inside of each numbered seed bed, just the word seed bed, right? Makes everything seamless. Okay, then use a for I loop. For I, comma v in pairs, you're going to say player dot character get children, enter. You will then say if v is a tool, right? Because the only tools you can have are seeds, plants, or in your shovel and stuff, to my knowledge at least. So v is a tool, and v.name is not equal to shovel, right? So if it is not equal to shovel, enter, right? Then you're going to fire their mode event. You're going to say core event fire server, in quotation marks your input. Name of the event will be plant, comma. You'll send over v, which is the specific seed stuff, the tool, then the target, which is the seed bed, and then lastly your mouse position, so we know where to plant it. Okay, now we're going to move on to the server script. Okay, so let me close the garden and then we'll open up the core server script. Okay, so we need to make some changes. First, we're going to want to rename inventory, right? And stuff, right? I didn't think about this. The first parts, we're going to need two different inventories. An inventory for seeds and the amount of seeds you have per crop, and an inventory for plants, right? So we're going to rename this to seed inventory. Then you're just going to Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, right? Boom. Then you're just going to copy this whole thing. Copy, go after it, enter, then paste. Then you're going to want to rename this to plant inventory, right? So plant inventory, right? Control C, Control V, Control V, and Control V. Boom. Just like that, we're good. And then that's it. We don't need to modify that part. Then you're going to want to come down here And we're going to need to add a module script, which I honestly have not used in a video since the Battleground series. Okay, so we're going to click the plus icon inside of the server script. You're going to click module script. If you're getting a little scared, a little terrified, it's okay. The module scripts are not as hard as you think they are if you're terrified of them. So you're going to want to rename the module script to core module, right? And then we're going to come back to this. All you need to do is insert it, rename it, just go back to the server script. We'll come back to it. Okay, so then you're going to put a space here, so enter. Under the seeds folder, you're going to create a variable for the core module because we're going to need to create some functions for it. So core module is equal to require scripts dot core module. Make sure the core module is inside of the core server script. So you're going to come down here, and then we're going to need to change this stuff, right? So right here, we're going to need to change this to seed inventory. So seed inventory, then I'm just going to select it, highlight it, copy, paste, and paste, right? We updated that right there. Then after this end, you're going to skip this end, right? And then you're going to say else if event type is equal to quotation marks plant, enter, right? So then you're going to create a variable for the seed tool. So seed tool is equal to argument 1. Then we actually needed to add some more arguments because I only had one argument. So we're gonna go up here, comma arg2, comma arg3, right? Making room for the other stuff we have because we have lots of things that we're sending over. So first up we have the seed tool, then we have the seed bed, argument number 2. And then lastly we have the player's mouse position, which is equal to arg3. Okay. Then we're going to say if player dot seed inventory, regular brackets, seed tool dot name, we're just getting the name of the seed, right? Dot value is equal to 1, enter. So pretty much if like this is the player's only seed or like their last seed, what we're going to do is we're going to destroy the value from their seed inventory. So you'll just do the same thing. Let's just go ahead and save ourselves some time. So let's just Control C, Control V, and then you'll oh well, we don't need the dot value. You're gonna go here and then just say destroy. Boom. Then you're gonna press enter. Then you'll say else if. Then just copy and paste this whole thing. Select that. Control C, Control V, and then we'll put a space right there. Move it over. That definitely tab that over. Okay. So now with this is just going to be if it's greater than 1, which means you have more than 1. So all we need to do is just simply, let's go here. And then for this, you're just going to say value is less than or equal to 1. So we're just taking 1 away because they just planted a seed, right? Then after that, you're then going to create the seed part, which is going to be, it's going to be kind of like not a tree stump. It's just going to be like a little, it's going to be like a little thing in the ground and stuff, right? As it grows, once it gets like 50%, we'll have it so like it grows. Again, it's more so for you guys to make it look all nice and everything. I'm just showing y'all how to basically do it. So yeah, we're going to create a part. So it's going to be called seed. So seed is equal to instance.new part, right? Let's set some properties. Seed.size is equal to vector3.new 1, comma 2, comma 1. You guys can set the size, but if you change the size and set it to a different size, you're going to probably have to edit some other stuff, possibly the position and stuff. So that's on y'all. So then we're gonna say seed dot anchored. Of course, we want to make sure it is anchored. Seed dot position is equal to mouse position, right? Set it to wherever the player mouse was. Then seed dot name will of course be equal to seed tool dot name. Then you'll say seed dot brick color. This is what I was talking about. Brick color is equal to. Then we're going to use the seeds folder. You guys recall this is what I was talking about. So seeds folder, right? You're going to say seeds folder seed tool dot name, the specific name of the seed, dot seed color dot value. Keep in mind you do have to get this. It is a value, right? Oh, that is nice. What value, right? Then you're going to say seed dot material is equal to enum dot material. I think I went for like salt or something. It makes it look more like planty. Like seed dot can collide is, we're gonna set that equal to false. And then seed dot parent you're gonna say is equal to seed bed, right? And oh, I'm just gonna throw a disclaimer out. I did not make the system as to where you can view the seed's current growth by just hovering over it. I'll include that in part four and stuff. I'll include it in part four, probably like the beginning of the video. But yeah, so don't worry. So I know people are gonna ask that, so don't worry. I will make that. So then after that, we have our seed bed. Then we're going to create a value called growth percentage. We're going to keep track of how much the seed is grown. So growth percentage is equal to instance.new. This will be a number value, of course. Then we'll say growth percentage.name is equal to growth percentage. Growth percentage.value will, of course, by default start off at 0. And then growth percentage.parent, make sure you parent it to the seed. And then lastly, we're going to destroy the seed tool because the player, just used it up. So seed tool destroy. Wait. Wait. Oh, I just realized something. Because if the player has more than one, oh, I did not think about that. Okay, interesting. I did not think about that. Seed. I did not think about that. That is very interesting. Okay, so actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to instead, okay, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna literally just copy this if statement, just copy this if statement, because I don't want to move it down because it's very imperative that you do this first. So we're just gonna paste this, so copy and paste that. So if the player has one seed, you're going to destroy the tool. So you'll say seed tool destroy. I just realized I did not do that right prior to the video. So seed tool destroy. And then oh, that's actually it. Actually, you don't need the else if you do not require that. Yeah, pretty much if they. Oh wait, I'm tweaking because if this value is equal to, but the value would be destroyed. Wait. Mm, how would this work? Oh, never mind. I get it. Okay. Let's say if player.seed. Okay, so if not, okay, we'll do it like this. Okay, if not, sorry guys. I had to fix something that I did not realize at the time. Okay, so we need to check first. So okay, once all of this is done, right, we're gonna check to see if the seed is still inside of the player's seed inventory. If it is, that means that they have more seeds and stuff. They had more than one seed, right? If it's not, that means it was destroyed because we removed it because they're out of seeds and stuff, right? And so that means we need to destroy the seed tool because you should still be able to plant more seeds if you have seeds available. So we're gonna say if not. If we don't find it, then we'll destroy the seed tool. Okay, simple. Then after that, we're gonna need to initiate a function. We're gonna say after that, you're gonna say core module dot grow seed in parentheses. You're going to send over the seed, right? I know we haven't created that as yet. We're about to go do that now. So core module dot grow seed. Now let's go over to the core module, right? Okay, here's what you're gonna do. First, you're gonna want to rename this stuff. So we're gonna create a variable core module. I'm just gonna rename it. So core module is equal to special brackets, right? Then press enter, space it out, and then you're going to put what did it have? Was it like an end? Yeah, I completely forgot. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. What is it? Right, return. That's what it is. Return. Okay. So return end. Is that what it said? Or no, I think it said return core module. I think that's what it said. You're gonna have to give me a sec. Not gonna lie. Okay, yeah, okay. So it does. Yeah, it does say that. All right. Because I don't use module scripts a lot. Not gonna lie. But anyway, so core module. After that, we're going to create a variable for our seeds folder. Of course, we will need that. So seeds folder is equal to game.server storage, wait for child, seeds folder, right? Now, the way we create functions is, right, this is teachable moment as well. So the way we create functions is, right, you're going to say function, or keyword function. Then you're going to say core module. So the name of the script, or sorry, not the name of the script, the name right here. Stuff, core module dot, and then the name of your function. So for this, first thing will be collect plant. Parentheses, you're going to put seed. Enter. So this is going to be when you collect the plant. Pretty much once it's fully grown and stuff, right? So you're going to say seed dot plant dot proximity prompt, right? That's what I was talking about. Dot triggered connect function. In parentheses, put PLR, which is short for the player who triggered the proximity prompt. Enter, right? And then you're going to pretty much, and yeah, from there we're going to say seed dot plans dot, we're going to disable the proximity prompt, so dot enable is equal to false to ensure they only claim it once. Then you're going to create the plant tool. So this is like once the, like the actual plant itself, not the seed tool. So plant tool is equal to instance. Oh, actually, let's save ourselves some time. I realized I copy and pasted to save time. So go back here, scroll all the way up. You guys recall our seed tool? Yeah, just copy that. Select it, copy, come back here. Then you're just going to paste, rename this to plant tool, right? Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. And then just gonna rename. You're gonna rename this to. I feel like there was something. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, so this is a little different. We're gonna have to say string dot split. We're gonna have to split the string. The reason for that is because if you recall down here, right, you recall that it's going to say this. It's going to say carrot seed. Now for the actual plant, we just want it to be the name of the vegetable or fruit, right? So we wanted to just say strawberry or carrot, not carrot seed, because it's not the seed, it's the plant. So we have to split the string. So we're splitting it up. So we're going to say seed.name. For example, this would be carrot seed, comma, then quotation marks. Definitely remember, put the space, speed, because, or sorry, I said speed, seed, right? Because as you can see, there's a space in between. So seed. We're going to break that up outside of those parentheses, regular bracket, 1, right? Because it returns a table, and then parent it to the player's backpack, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it for that part. Then we're going to need to create our value. So you come back to the server script, find the seed value, select it, copy, come back, paste it, and then just rename this to plants value, right? So Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, and then you're going to want to rename this to, now that I think about it, wouldn't it make sense to, yeah, okay, that would make sense. So we're gonna say plant tool dot name. Yeah, right. So plant tool dot name. This is also going to be a number value and stuff. This is going to indicate the value. So the name will be obviously the name of the plant, and then the value will be how much it weighs. So we're gonna say that value is equal to, now we're gonna do the math. So math dot random is gonna choose a random value between whatever you put. So you're gonna say seeds folder, regular bracket. Then you're gonna say seed dot name. Go on the outside. You're gonna say dot minimum size dot value, comma, and then you can really just select this, Control C, Control V, and then just change this to maximum size dot value, right? Then it'll randomize that, and then obviously change this to plant inventory, make sure it's stored correctly, and then we're done with that function. Now onto the growing function. So go after, so you're gonna go after that. You're gonna say function core module dot. This will be called grow seed or grow plant, whatever you want to call it. But just call it what I call it. Enter, right? And then this is gonna be a function for growing. So we're gonna say it's gonna be a while loop. We're gonna say while seed. Oh, by the way, we need to pass over the seed. So create a. Go ahead. Let's create an argument that we're sending over. So seed. So while seed dot growth percentage dot values less than 100, enter, right? You're going to say seed dot growth percentage dot value is greater than or equal to seeds folder, regular brackets, seed dot name. Go on the outside. Then you're going to say dot growth rate dot value is, oh, wait, I already did that. Yeah, okay. Wait, yeah, C dot growth percentage plus equals, and then, yeah, okay. So, yeah, you guys recall our growth rates from here. And what this means is, for the love of God, do not put odd numbers. Do not do odd numbers. Just do even numbers, okay? Like, if you do not know what you're doing, just put odd numbers. I mean, sorry, just put even numbers. Don't put odd numbers. Because remember, it's less than 100. So, like, if you put, like, so like what's gonna happen is if you put like, the growth rate is 3, it's gonna go to like 99, and then it'll go to 102. Like, just put even numbers for the growth rates and stuff, right? Again, unless you know what you're doing. So after that, it's gonna increase by the seed's growth rate, right? Then you're gonna say if seed dot growth percentage dot value is equal to 50, which means it's halfway there, right? So enter, we're going to increase the seed size. We'll say seed.size is equal to vector3.new. Then you'll just simply just increase the y value. The y value is pretty much, it's up to down, so you're making it grow taller essentially. So you want to keep the x and z value the same. So you're just going to say seed.size.y plus 5 comma seed.size.z. Right, x and z will remain the same. Then enter, then you'll say else if seed.growth percentage value is equal to 80. Enter. So once it's 80% done, then we'll make it so that they see the final product and stuff, but it still has some growing left to do. By the way, you guys can change these numbers up if you want. Again, so make sure that these are even numbers and stuff. But yeah, this could be like 20, this could be 60, this could be like 95. Like it's yeah. But again, just make sure it's an even number. Just make sure it's an even number. That's all I ask. So yeah. So once it reaches 80, we will then create the plant. So plant, remember that's the model we have inside of our seed folder. So plant is equal to seeds folder. Then you're going to retrieve the specific seed.name. Go on the outside, then you'll say dot plant. So that's why I said just name it plant. Clone, you're going to clone it, of course. Then you're going to say plant dot position. This is why I was saying it's important that you do it the way I did it. And say seed dot position. So you'll set it to the same position, and then you'll say plant.parent is equal to the seed. You'll parent it to the seed. And then you'll say seed.transparency is equal to 1. We no longer need to see it. Transparency is equal to 1. Right? Then you'll throw an else if. You'll say else if. One last one. So same thing, seed.growth percentage dot value. Then you'll say is equal to 100, which means it's done growing. So enter. Right? Once it's done, you will say seed.plant dot proximity prompt dot enables, and then you will enable the proximity prompt so that the player can come collect it, right? And then lastly, you just got to trigger the collect plant function. So collect plant, then send over the specific seed. Seed. There we go. And then which will trigger this function, so it'll wait for the player to collect it, and then this loop will end and this function will be done. So yeah. So let's go ahead and test to make sure it works. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, just read the description and you will find out how to gain access. Okay, so first things first, let's check player. We have our plant inventory and our seed inventory. Let's talk to the buyer, right? We can buy a carrot seed and a strawberry seed. Nice. Okay. So as you can see, instead of our seed inventory, we have our carrot and strawberry seed. Perfect. So now if I come over here, I'm going to select my carrot seed. I'm going to left click. You'll see. That is very interesting. Okay. So it did in fact plant, but for some odd reason we're having it. If not seed tool dot name. Carrot seed is not a member of seed inventory. If not, what? Wait, what? Carrot seed 78. If not player dot seed inventory. Oh, I see what you're doing. My bad, guys. My bad. This is supposed to be find first child. My fault. Find first child. My bad. Find first child seed tool name. So just change that on the server script line 78. Just change that. Yeah. Find first child because this returns a because in an if statement this would be true or false. But yeah, okay, there we go. My bad. That's my bad, guys. Okay, so we're gonna buy this again. We're gonna test. Boom. I am so stupid. Okay, I just realized we made the while loop and I forgot the most important thing. To put a task dot wait. So okay, go back to the loop, right? Instead of the grow seed function. This is why I tested that in the videos to make sure everything works. Go back to the grow seed function, right? Add a task dot wait, and then put once I couldn't imagine why you would want this to be anything but 1 second, but do as you please. But yeah, so 1 second. Okay, now let's go back. Buy some seeds. Okay. Boom and boom. As you can see, they are planting. And then you'll see once they reach 50, once they reach halfway, you'll see it'll sprout a little bit more. Boom. Because the carrot grows fat. Wait, I just realized it's supposed to be orange, not gold. I put the wrong color. It is fine. So as you can see, it's done growing. Strawberries grow slower than carrots. So as you can see, I can now collect it. If we open up my player, you'll see that the seed inventory is empty. That is because I only had one seed for each. So if I collect the carrot, boom. And obviously the plant itself hasn't disappeared yet, because the way it's supposed to work is supposed to get your shovel and destroy it, which I will also be doing in part 4. But as you can see, I now have the carrot, and this is the actual plant itself. The strawberry is still growing. As you can see inside of the plant inventory, we have the carrot with its weight. Then I can collect the strawberry, and boom, now I have a strawberry. So yeah, so that's how you make the growth system, the planting system, and the collecting system. So part 4 will include the destruction system with the shovel, so you can clear out the stuff, which will be literally so simple. You're just clearing it out. As well as the viewing the progress and stuff, right? And everything. If you guys are curious to see how you can view the progress, like for testing purposes and tool that, what you all you would need to do, open workspace, find which garden your player is using, open that up, find the seed bed. So just click on each one until whatever one in front of you is glowing. Then open that up, open the seed bed, you'll find the seed inside. Open that up, you'll find the growth percentage value, and then you can keep track right there. But yeah, I like that next thing. One thing I do want to test, just to be on the safe side, stuff just to show you guys too. You see we have our seed. You see how I can't plant the seed? I can't plant the seed anywhere else. Like it has to specifically be on the bed. You see it doesn't work if we do it anywhere else. So yeah. So if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like and subscribe and stuff. Continue to show the series love and support, and I will continue dropping more and more parts and stuff. Just continue showing the series love. Like I said, if you want access to any one of my scripts or models, all you gotta do is just check out the description and you'll find out how to gain access to that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you find out any glitches, errors, or anything like that, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all for watching. Yo, what's good, y'all? In today's video, I got how to make grow a garden part 4 and stuff. Thank you for all the love and support I showed again on part 1 and part 2, as well as part 3 and stuff. So of course I had to hit y'all with part 4. So with part 4, I added the destruction systems, like you can destroy things with the shovel. I added the cell system stuff. The cell system fully works, like for the NPC, all the options work. I added I fixed a bug where, like, let's say you had multiple seeds, and then you had multiple seeds and you planted one, it wouldn't or you planted all of them, it wouldn't delete all the seed tools and stuff. So I changed it to where you'll just have one seed tool, and then you'll just be able to plant as many seeds as you have with that one tool. You won't get multiple seed tools for having the same, like you won't have like let's say like you buy 3 carrot seeds, you're not gonna have 3 carrot seed tools. You're just gonna have one tool and be able to plant it 3 times and stuff. I also made a display system to where you can display um to where you can, I'm trying to think, to where you can display the amount, like the growth progress. That's what it is. Yeah, the growth progress for your plants and stuff that I, no, not, yeah. So it'll display that to you there and everything. And yeah. So let's go ahead and let's get straight into the video. Okay. So for the first things first, I guess let's go ahead and let's cover the UI changes. So not gonna lie, I actually forgot to delete this. Actually, I forgot. I was supposed to make this. I was supposed to make this with y'all and stuff. Not gonna lie. But it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna make this visible so y'all can see. So I'm gonna show you guys pretty much what this is. So we have the plant info frame. You guys know how when you hover over like a seed growing or whatnot, you can see the progress. First of all, you can see the name of it, right? The name of the plant, as well as the progress till it's fully grown and stuff, right? That's what this is. So you're gonna click the plus icon on the core GUI, insert a frame. You're gonna want to rename said frame to plant info frame, right? And then I set the background. Here are the properties and stuff. I set the background transparency to 1 and name it to plant info frame. That's my size and positioning. But the position, and then obviously by default, make sure it's not visible by default. Then you're going to want to I inserted a UI grid layout because the UI grid layout makes it looks more organized and stuff, to where like it keeps it in the middle of the frame and stuff, so that it follows the frame. The reason for that is because we're going to reposition the frame to wherever the player's mouse is and stuff, like wherever they're hovering over, right? So this is my stuff for the UI grid layout and stuff, right? Then you're going to insert a text label, so you can just insert the UI grid layout, so UI grid layout. Then you can insert your text label into the plant info frame, so insert a text label. You're going to want to rename one to growth text label and the other to plant text label, right? Here are the properties and stuff for them. So here you go. here are the properties for plant text label and then growth text label. So plant text label is going to have the name of the plant, where growth text label is going to have like how much it's finished growing and whatnot, right? And stuff. So those are the properties for them. And so these are just regular text labels, and then I just put them like right on top of each other. And then yeah, that's it for the UI. Then for the cell system, you guys know how you can go up to the cell NPC and view the worth of a plant you're holding, right? I want to go ahead and go into here and find the, I don't know why the animate script is open. Find the head, like find the head body part. Then you're going to click the plus icon. You're going to insert a billboard GUI. And then you're going to want to name this to worth GUI. This is how we're going to display the worth. So we're going to say worth GUI. Then you're going to insert a text label. You're going to want to rename this text label to worth text label. Then obviously do bold text, rich text, no text by default. Set the text color to white. Then text stroke transparency will be set to 0. Text stroke color will be black. Then scale the text. And then set background transparency to 1. Then obviously we want the GUI to be disabled by default. We do not want it to be enabled by default. And then I'm going to make it so that it's higher than the NPC's name. So I'm just going to go over here to like stud. I'm going to go over here to like stud offset, and I'm going to set y equals like 5, so it's above the NPC. And then yeah, so there we go. There's our worth GUI we put inside of the head, which is inside of the cell NPC, inside of workspace. Okay, so now let's move on to the coding changes. Okay, so for the first things first, you're going to go down to local script. You're going to scroll down a little bit. You're going to go down here. You guys recall how we set up the first thing for the cell frame, the first function for the cell frame? We're going to set up those other button functions now. So we're going to say else if v.name is equal to cell inventory text button, right? So enter, then we'll say core event fire server in quotation marks. You're going to put cell comma quotation marks inventory, right? Then you're going to disable. You're just going to do this for each one. You're going to say core GUI.cellFrame.visible is equal to false. You're going to do that each time. Then you're going to say, then you can really just copy and paste this to save yourself some time. So just select that, copy or control C, and then control V. Then the second one, will be cell text button, and then you're going to leave the cell name of the event. Then there's going to be single for for one single plant. Then for the last thing, you'll just do worth text button. Then it'll still be cell, but then you'll change this last thing to worth, right? Then we're done here. Then we're going to scroll all the way down. So after all this, you're going to create a variable called update function, which is equal to nil, right? My bad, equal to nil. So this is so that this is going to be the growth display system, to where you will be able to see the name of a plant as well as how much it's grown and stuff. So we will say uis.input. We're going to use this function to keep track of whether or not we need to continue updating. Pretty much like when you stop hovering over it, we're going to disable the function. That's pretty much it. Or if you start hovering over a new plant. So connect. Oh, sorry, not input again. It's uis.input changed connect function. In parentheses, put input, comma processed. Enter. You're then going to say if input.user input type is equal to enum.user input type dot mouse movement, players moving their mouse, and not processed means they're not moving their mouse while they're typing in chat. Enter, then create a variable for our target. So target is equal to player get mouse dot target. Then create a variable for our player's mouse position. So it's player get mouse dot hit dot position, right? Or sorry, actually wrong thing. Sorry, my bad. Inputs dot position, because I forgot this is a little different. Input dot position, right? But I think it's pretty much the same. But regardless, you're then going to say core GUI dot plant info frame dot visible is equal to false by default. So keep in mind, this function will be triggered whenever you move your mouse while the game is running and stuff, right? So if you move your mouse, so we're going to assume by default that you're moving your mouse away from a plant. So like, let's say you already are viewing one, we're going to assume you already are moving it away and stuff, right? And then we're about to check. So we're going to say, first we're going to say if update function is equal to no, which is as it is now, enter. Or sorry, not if it's equal to, if it's, my bad guys, it's like 12 a.m. and I'm honestly kind of tired. So if update function is not equal to no, right? So if it's not equal to null, then that means it's set to a current function. So we'll say update function disconnect, because we're starting a new function. And then you'll set update function is equal to nil, right? Then after that, you're going to say if target. So if there is a target, enter. Then you'll say if string dot find target dot name, just like we did in the last part of the series, comma quotation mark space seed. Then you're gonna say enter. You're gonna put enter. Then you're gonna create a variable called seed. Seed is equal to target, right? And then you're going to say core GUI dot plant info frame dot plant text table dot text is equal to string dot split seed name, because keep in mind we just wanted to say like if it's a strawberry plant, we don't want it to say strawberry seed, we want to say just strawberry. So we'll say seed name comma quotation mark space seed, go on the outside, regular bracket 1, right? Then you'll say core GUI dot plant info frame dot growth text table dot text is equal to seed dot growth percentage. Remember that value, the number value we have inside of it. So we'll say dot value dot quotation marks. Then you'll say you put the percent symbol, right? Then you'll say space grown, right? Then we will say core GUI dot plant info frame dot position is equal to udm2 dot new, because we're going to reposition the frame to wherever the player's mouse currently is. So we'll say 0 comma input dot position dot x, right, comma 0 comma input dot position dot y minus 36. The reason you have to do this is because for some reason it like adds 36 automatically, so you have to like take away that instead. That's what it said. That's what it said when I researched it. But anyway, yeah, when I researched it, that's what it said. But anyway, so then we're going to say core GUI dot plain info frame dot visible is set to true. We're going to make it so the player can see it. Then we're going to set up the update function. So update function will then be is equal to seed dot growth percentage dot change. So whenever it updates, we'll give it the player live update. So function like parentheses enter, right? Then you'll just do the same thing. Actually, you're just gonna just the growth, this part right here, copy, paste, boom, right? So it'll continue to update that as long as you're hovering over it. And then once you stop hovering over it, this part will go into effect. Frame will be disabled. It will no longer be visible, and it'll disable this. So it'll disable this function, or disconnect the function, I should say. So you're going to go after that, and then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to say else if. And then this time we're just going to say else if target.name is equal to plant enter. So this is to account for like the stage it's in, because like it could be in the first stages where it's just a seed, or it could be in the stages of where like the final model has come out. So like it's pretty much finished growing. So once you do that, you're just gonna copy and paste this code. Copy. It's literally the same thing. Paste. You're just gonna say here. You're gonna go here. You're gonna say target.parent, and then that's literally the only difference. Literally the only difference. We're just saving ourselves some time. So boom with that. Yeah. Then after that, you're gonna go after all of that. We're done with that. We're done with the growth display function. Then we're going to set up the destruction system. So we're going to create a variable for our shovel. So shovel is equal, since it's a default tool, we can just say player.backpack wait for child shovel, right? Then you're going to say shovel.activated connect function, close parentheses, enter. So whenever the player tries to destroy something, we'll get the target. So target is equal to player get mouse.target, right? Then we'll say if target, enter. Then you'll just do the same thing we just did. So if string.find target.name, comma, quotation marks, space, seed. So if it's a seed you just found, then you're going to say create a variable called seed, which is equal to target. And then you fire the remote event. So core event, fire server, quotation marks, destroy, comma, and then you're gonna put seed part. This is very important because you need to specify whether or not it's like the seed part or it's the final product, like as in the plant stuff. Then comma, then you're gonna send over the actual instance of the seed, right? And then you're gonna say else. You're gonna say else if target name is equal to plant. So if it's the actual plant itself, enter. So pretty much it's done. So you could just copy and paste this. Just Control C, Control V. You're gonna go down here. Seed will seed will be target dot parent, right? Then you're gonna go down here, and then this will be changed to plant. Stuff this needs to be verified on the server to make sure that when you're not trying to destroy um a different player's seed or plant and stuff. So we'll be verifying that on the server. Then we're done with that function, right? That's our destruction function. Then now we're gonna do the worth stuff. So we're gonna say core event dot on client event connect function in parentheses put event type comma arg1 short for argument number 1 enter. Then you're going to say if event type is equal to in quotation marks worth enter. Then create a variable for cell value which is equal to argument 1. Then you're going to say workspace.cell. Remember our NPC head dot worth GUI dot worth text label dot text is equal to quotation marks. You can put whatever message you want, but I'm gonna say this is worth money sign dot 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 arg1, right? Then you'll say workspace. Oh my bad. You'll say workspace dot cell dot head dot worth GUI dot enabled is equal to true. Then we'll wait. You can put however much time you want. I'll just do test dot wait 5 seconds. Then you'll say workspace dot cell dot head dot worth GUI dot enabled is equal to false. And then boom, right? We're done with the local script. Now we can move on to our server script changes. Okay, so let's open up the server script, and then first things first, you're going to scroll down just a little bit, go down here. So you see this part, this is what I mentioned when I said the bug fix and stuff. We only want to give the player a seed tool if they don't already have one for that current seed. So you're going to find the seed tool code, you're going to cut it, or copy then delete it, and then you're going to go after right here. So if we don't find a player, so if the player does not have any seeds, then we're going to paste it. We're going to give them the seed tool and stuff, because it's going to be one seed tool per seed. So like if you have like 5 strawberry seeds, you're going to have one strawberry seed tool. If you have 3 carrot seeds, you're going to have 1 carrot tool, right? Or 1 carrot seed tool, I should say, and stuff. Then you're going to scroll down. So down here, you're going to put an if statement actually before our other if statements. This is to confirm that you're not trying to plant. This is a bug someone pointed out to me and stuff, to make sure that you can't plant in other people's gardens. So we're going to say if seed bed dot parent dot owner dot value is not equal to player dot name enter return. So pretty much if it's any other username except for the player's name, then it'll return, which means it'll halt the function if it will not proceed. Then we can scroll down some more, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go right here. You see else if event type plant. We're going to add on to this, or add on to the event, I should say. We're going to say, go in between, say else if event type is equal to quotation marks, and then you're going to set up destroy first. So destroy, enter, right? And then we're going to create first variable, so part type. This will either be the seed or the plant. So part type is equal to arg1, and then local seed is equal to arg2, right? And then let me just double check, make sure we're good. All right. Then we have our seed. Then we're going to say if part type is equal to seed part, my bad, is equal to seed part, enter. Then we'll create a variable for the garden. So garden is equal to seed dot parent dot parent dot parent, right? Just lots of parents. So 3 parents, right? Then we'll say if garden dot owner dot, it's the same thing we just did. Owner dot value is not equal to player dot name, enter, then return. Then we'll do the same thing. So else if, and then you can really just copy and paste this part, all that. Copy, Control V. Okay, let's not do that. Let's put a space, then Control V. There we go. And there's an extra if. Okay, so then this should be changed from seed part to plant. And then you go down here, and then this is going to be 4 parents. So you're just going to add on another parent. That remains the same. So once you've confirmed that that it is in fact whatever the player is trying to destroy is a seed or a plant within their own garden and stuff, then you'll say seed destroy at the end, right? Then after that, you're going to say else if event type is equal to cell. So we're going to set up the cell stuff. Enter. right? So for so the first thing you're going to create a variable for cell type is equal to arg1 because there's multiple cell types. So we're going to say if cell type is equal, this is the big one. So if the player's trying to sell their entire inventory, right? Enter. Then you're going to say for I comma v in pairs. You're going to say player dot plant inventory get children close parentheses enter. Then you're going to create a variable for the base price. The base price is going to be equivalent to how much the player paid for yeah, y'all can set up whatever math equations y'all want to calculate the price and the sell value and stuff, but I'm just going to do it to where it's going to be the base price will be how much the player paid for it. So we'll say base price is equal to seeds folder. So the price for it. So seeds folder regular bracket v dot name dot quotation marks. Remember, we got to put the space and then seed. Then you're going to go on the outside dot value because remember inside of the seeds folder, remember the values are equal to the price. Then we're going to create the sell value again. Do whatever mathematical equations you want to do. I'm just going to say base price, divide that by 2, then multiply that. Comes v dot value. V dot value, by the way, is this is the weight. This is the weight of whatever your plant is and stuff, right? So it's the weight and stuff. So like if it weighs more, it'll be worth more essentially. So then after that, you're gonna say player dot leader stats dot shekels dot value is greater than or equal to sell value. And then after that, you're going to destroy. So you're going to destroy the value that's inside of your inventory. So you're going to go after that end. And then now you're going to since we're selling the whole inventory, you're going to get rid of all the plant tools you have. So we're going to say for I comma v in pairs. You're just going to say player dot backpack get children enter. You'll say if v dot name, of course, make sure it's not the shovel. So v dot name is not equal to the shovel and not string dot find v dot name comma space quotation marks space seed, because obviously we only want to destroy plants, not seeds and stuff. Enter, and then you'll say v destroy. So it'll destroy any of those tools the player has. Then you'll skip that, just skip a line, and then you'll just copy that function. Copy. Go down here, paste. You're gonna go right here, just add if v is a tool, since this is we're gonna check, and then throw an and after it, and then this is going to be the player's character. You're gonna check. So then that's the same thing. That's the same thing with that, and then we are done with the the entire inventory function. Then we'll move on. So we'll say else if cell type. We'll say else if cell type is equal to single. So this is trying to just sell one plant. Enter. Then you create a variable for the plant, which will be equal to nil by default, right? Then you'll say for I comma v in pairs, and then you'll say player dot character. You'll say get children enter, right? Because obviously they should have it currently equipped. So you'll say it's actually the same. It's actually the same thing. Actually, now think about it, it's actually literally this exact same code. So we could just really just copy and paste this, and then just paste this, copy that, and then just paste that right there. So yeah, so it's the same thing. It's just you would just set plant equals to v, because I'm pretty sure if v is because I just want to double check, if v is a tool, it's not equal to the shovel, and it is not a seed. Yeah, plant is equal to v. Okay, so yeah, so then you'll have found your plant tool, right? Then after that, you will say if plant. So if you found it, so if plant enter, then you'll do the whole base price and sell price stuff. So we'll go back up here to this part, just copy and paste this stuff. So copy, right? Copy that, paste that right here. So it's the same thing. It's just to get the base price, you're going to need to do plant dot name. You're just going to do plant dot name seed dot value. Then down here, you're going to go and say player dot plant inventory regular brackets plant dot name. Go on the outside and say dot value, so that you can get the weight of the plant. Then what you're gonna do is after that we're gonna go here, right? And then we're still going to do the whole increase thing. Then you're gonna say player dot plant inventory, because we need to remove the specific value and stuff, right? When we were selling the entire inventory, we were just clearing the entire inventory folder of all values. So we need to do this individually. So we're going to say player.plant inventory. Then you're going to say plant.name. Go on the outside, you're going to say destroy, right? So plant inventory destroy. Then you're going to destroy the plant tool itself. So you're going to destroy the tool as well as the value. And then you're going to skip one end. And then you're going to say else if cell type is equal to worth. And then this is worth. Enter. And then good thing it's the exact same code for selling a single plant. Copy just with a little changes, of course. Paste. Literally the only difference is that you're like just not like finalizing anything. That's the only difference. That remains the same. This remains the same. If plants, base price, sell price. Yep. The only thing is you're just gonna change this because you're not actually selling it. So you're just gonna say core event fire client singular. Very important. Very, very, very important. Singular. Player, comma, name of the event, worth, comma. Then you're gonna send over the not the sell type, the sell value. Okay. And then just like that, we are done. We have done everything, okay? Let's go ahead and test to make sure this works. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, check the description to find out how to gain access to that. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, we just did a lot of stuff. We made a lot of changes. We're gonna test some things. Okay, first things first. If I buy multiple seeds, the way things would have worked before, it would have given me multiple tools. You'll notice how I only got one seed tool, right? I only get one seed tool. But as you can see, I have multiple carrot seeds, right? So boom. Let me go plant the stuff, right? So as you can see, and you guys can see how I can watch the growth system. It has the name of the plant as well as its progress. If I move it away, and then I can plant my strawberry seed. As you can see, I can monitor them and stuff. I can switch in between them, monitor them in whatever state they're in, right? Boom, boom, still growing and stuff, right? And then as you can see, if I plant all my carrot seeds, then the tool will be removed. Now, if I collect my carrot, and then I destroy the carrot, boom, you see, we can now destroy things. You can also destroy things before they fully grow, by the way. So boom, it will give you that error message. Just there's no need to worry about that. It just the while loop. It just means it's just gonna error because of the growth percentage, but it's gonna continue to work. It'll just break the loop pretty much. It'll just break the loop. I mean, maybe if it really bothers all that much, I can just make a way for it to just break the loop manually whenever you destroy it, but it don't really matter. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Right, I am going to collect carrot, strawberry. So you guys will see in my plant inventory we have 2 carrots and strawberry. So I'm gonna walk over here to sell. First things first, let's test the carrot. Let's test the worth. How much is this worth? This is worth $75. Then after 5 seconds, it should go away. Okay. Now here's what I want to do. Let's say I want to sell. The strawberry, right? So I'm going to say I want to sell this. Boom. I just sold the strawberry, got some money back for it, and it is gone. Then let's say I want to sell my inventory. Boom. Everything is gone, and I just got money for it. So boom. We made our destruction system with the shovel system. We fixed the bug, finalized the selling system and stuff where you can sell individual plants, sell the entire inventory, see the worth of things, and made a progress viewing system. So yeah. So there you guys go. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely leave a like and subscribe. You guys already know the drill. Just keep showing the series love and support, and I will continue making these videos and stuff. Because in all honesty, I really do enjoy making the how to make a grow a garden series and stuff, because it's very simple. Like, it's just very simple code. It's very chill, just like the game itself and stuff. So I'll continue the series as long as I keep showing it love and support stuff. If you find any bugs, let me know in the comments, DM me, whatever. As for what part 5, because people ask me all the time and stuff, so I guess I don't even know what I'm gonna include in part 5. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. Maybe because people keep asking about a stock system. People keep asking about that. I don't know. Maybe a stock system. Maybe a stock system. We'll have to see. But maybe something like that. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all want to see, though. Y'all let me know what y'all want to see in the comments. But yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Thank you for watching, and yeah. Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make grow a garden. This is, I want to say, part 5 to the series and stuff. Thank you for all the love and support y'all been showing on the series and stuff. Like I said, as long as the series keeps getting, love and support, I will continue the series and keep going. So today I got a few like bug fixes and stuff, as well as something a lot of people have been asking for. So this is data saving part 1. I'll go over everything. So a lot of people pointed out to me how I had it confused. I was confused. I thought the way it works is that you have to use your shovel to destroy every kind of plant once it's finished growing and once you collect it, but that's only like ones where it's like, there's like multiple growing on that one plant and stuff. So I made it so that single plants are destroyed when you collect them, they'll be destroyed. Because multiple people pointed it out to me. I made a seed amount display because someone else also pointed it out to me. So you can so pretty much what will happen is we'll create some UI, a little text label and stuff to where whenever a player equips a seed, they can see how much of the seed they have. It'll pop up a little notification here so they can see how much of the seed they have. Then I fixed the bug. No one pointed this out to me. I actually figured this out myself. I fixed a bug where I'm honestly shocked that nobody honestly pointed this out to me to be honest. But there was a bug to where like if you reset your character, you died, whatever, and stuff, you would lose your tools, like your seed tools and stuff. So I fixed it to where now it'll re-add them and stuff, right? And then I did data saving part 1. A lot of people have been asking about that. The part 1 is to indicate that um this part will not cover like saving the seed beds and stuff. That will be in a later part. I don't know if that'll be part 2 or like I don't know. I'm saying I don't know if that will be in like part 6 of the series or not. But yeah, because I haven't done the saving for the actual like the grow offline portion of it, where like the seeds will be replanted in the same area, the same place, and everything. I don't know if I haven't done that as of yet. But yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's get straight into it. So yeah, so part 1, data saving. This will include like shekels, um, the amount of seeds the player has, how much, like I said, how much money they have, as well as the plants they have as well. So pretty much everything except just their gardens. But yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Let me just double check. Okay, we're good. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and add something simple to the UI. So let's go ahead and open up Core GUI. Go ahead and insert a new frame, right? This is going to be real quick. You're just going to name this to item info frame. I'm going to name this item info frame because I might change this later to where like make it so that you can also see how much a plant weighs with this and stuff. But that's, if that's something you guys are interested in, stuff, which I can let me know in the comments. But yeah, so I'm gonna just make this like 125 by 100. Honestly, you don't really need much because you can set the background transparency to 1. I'm going to insert a text label into it. You're going to want to rename the text label to item text label. Here we're going to display however much of the item they have. For the seeds stuff, bold, rich text, scale the text, no text by default. I'm probably just going to do like a transparent white background with a black border. And then of course text color will be black. Text stroke color, I guess there's not really a need to, yeah, I guess there's not really, or no, we could do white text stroke color, and then text stroke transparency will be set to 0, right? So boom. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and set the frame to not visible, right? Just like everything else. Or at least most of our other frames, except for the teleport one. Then now we can move on to the coding. Okay, so you can go ahead and open up our local core script. You're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom to our core event on client event. You're going to go here, you're going to add a second argument, so comma dot arg2. Then you're going to go right here, enter, else if. We're going to create another event. You're going to say info, so this is for what we just made with the UI, so enter. So first we're going to have the name of the seed, which will be argument number 1. Then we will have the amount, however much the player has of said seed, so argument 2. So then we will say core GUI.item info frame .item text label .text is equal to seed name quotation marks colon space go on the outside seed amount. You guys can format the message in whatever way you want though, of course. It's completely up to y'all. But then core GUI.item info frame .visible is equal to true, right? Then we will do task.wait 5 seconds. You can set the time to whatever you want it to be. And then after that, we'll just say core GUI.item info frame .visible is equal to false, so it'll just disappear, right? So then we're we're done with that part. We can move on to the server script. Most of our changes will be here. There is a lot to do here. Okay, so we're gonna need to make a couple of variables up here. Before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure everyone has their data store services enabled and stuff, or API services, I should say, and stuff, because I know some of y'all are new. So simply click home at the top. Oh, my bad. Click home at the. Oh, I just realized the thing. There we go. So click home at the top, right? Click game settings. You're gonna go to, I think it's not permissions, security. Yeah, security. So you're gonna go to enable studio access to API services, right? You're gonna enable, it should say enable studio access to game services such as data stores. You want to make sure that this is green enabled, and make sure you press save and you publish, right? The data stores will not work. Data saving will not work if you don't have that enabled. Okay, so yeah, so it will give you an error message if you don't have that enabled. So once you've done that, you're gonna go right here, press enter, right? We're gonna create a variable for our data store service. So for short, DSS will be equal to game get service data store service, right? Then after that, you're going to go ahead and get a whole bunch of data stores. So enter. So then we're going to say we need 3 data stores. One for our stats data store. At the moment, the only stat we have is shekels, but that could change. So we're just going to name it stats data store, right? Then we're going to have a data store for seeds and another data store for plants and stuff. We need to break it up into multiple data stores because we don't know how much, like, there's not going to be a set amount, right? So we can't predict how much a player is going to have and stuff. So like it'd be too much to put all in one data store. So it's just best to break it up. That's honestly how I should have did things for my other series and stuff, for my other game series and stuff. But yeah, so let's go ahead and let's name this stats data store is equal to DSS get to data store, just do the same name. Now, a lot of people, for some reason, seem to forget that capitalization is important. Make sure that exactly as I type it is exactly how as you type it, unless you know what you're doing, because a lot of people like to go and capitalize certain things, not capitalize other things, just exactly as you see it, okay? So then once you have that, you can just copy that, enter twice, then just paste Control plus V, Control plus V, and then we'll just get rid of the spaces. Right. Then for our second one, this is going to be our seed data store. So we'll keep track of how many seeds the player currently has. So Control C, Control V, and then we go right here, and then this will be plant data store, Control C, Control V. Boom, right? So we created our data stores, right? Now we're gonna come down here, and then after the whole garden thing, actually something I actually wanted to kind of actually, I feel like yeah, I don't know if I feel like doing that. As a, mm, do I feel like doing that? Nah, I don't actually. Anyway, so we're gonna go after this for loop. So you're just gonna skip 2 ends, right? So you're then going to add an event. You're gonna say player dot character added connect function in parentheses put character enter, right? Then you're gonna say for I comma v in pairs. You're gonna say seed inventory get children enter, right? Then you can just go down here to buy, and then you're just gonna find your seed tool. Remember, the value already exists and stuff. This is for when a player dies and stuff. So the value still exists inside of your inventory. We just need the tool. So you're gonna go to the buy event, get the seed tool, copy that code, paste that, and then all you're gonna do is just change this to seed name will be v.name, and then that's literally just it for that function. Then you go after the 2 ends, and then we need to create a key, right? So let's create a variable key. So the key, this is what will store like the ID that is associated with a player's data. Here's how you'll store player's data. So we'll say is equal to player.user ID. Now you guys can choose what you want to do. I highly recommend you just use a player's user ID because the player cannot change the user ID. Do not use their username because a person can change the username. Don't use their display name because a person can change their display name. Like, it's just best to use their user ID. It's unique, only that one player can have it, and yeah, they can change the username, but the user ID will remain the same. So I recommend y'all just use their user ID. So then we're going to set up a protected call function. We're going to say local success, comma, error message is equal to pcall function in parentheses, close parentheses, enter. Then you're going to create variables for all of our data if the player has any. So we'll say stats data is equal to stats data store get async. Then you're going to throw the key in there, right? Then create a second one for seed. So seed data is equal to seed data store. get a sync key. And then lastly, do it for our plant data, which is equal to plant data store, get a sync key, right? Then you're going to use some if statements. So we need to check to make sure that the player has data, because if they don't have data, then we just don't want anything to load. So we'll say if stats data. So boom, enter, because they could have one set of data but not have another set and stuff, which I guess, well, actually, I don't know if that's possible really, because even if you have nothing, I think it would still say that you have nothing. But regardless, we'll say if stats data. So if they have any stats data, that means we can set shekels dotted value equal to stats data regular bracket 1, because it'll be the first value in the data in the table. Then after that, we need to set up seed data. So we will say if seed data. So if the player has any seed data, right? Then we need to use a for I loop to iterate through it. We will say for I comma v in pairs. In parentheses, you will put seed data, right? Then enter. Then you will say if I modulus operator or percent sign, whatever you wanna call it, right? You will say that 2 is equal to 0, enter, and then put continue. So to explain what this is pretty much can a lot of people don't know this. To be honest, I didn't learn this until like a few months ago, or no, like a year ago in school. But pretty much what this means is that this is the modulus operator. This means remainder and stuff, right? So it's going to do division and stuff. So pretty much it's going to divide whatever I is by 2, and then this will give you the remainder of it and stuff, right? So the people who aren't that good at math, pretty much what this means is this is gonna return a remainder, right? If your remainder is 0, that means like it was an even number. Because if it's divisible by 2, then that means it's an even number, you know? Because 3 divided by 2, your remainder isn't gonna be 0, but 4 divided by 2, your remainder will be 0 and stuff, right? So we want to skip every other iteration and stuff. The reason why I want to, because I feel like it's important for people to know this and stuff, but it may be kind of confusing. So here's how it's going to work, right? We're going to save the name and then the value, right? So think about it like this, right? You have like a table, right? The first value is the name. The second value is the amounts. The amount. That's the best way to put it, right? So we would have, you don't have to write this, by the way. I just want to explain this and stuff. If you don't care for the explanation, you can skip past this, but I'm trying to teach people. So you have the name of the seed. So let's say the name of the seed is carrot, right? Let's say carrot. Then I need the amount, right? Well, let's say I have 23 carrot seeds, right? So these are going to be stored individually. This will be the first value. This will be the second value, right? So here's the problem, right? We need to be able to skip every other iteration. The reason and stuff is because we're using these two pieces of information to create one new plant, or sorry, not plant, seed, right? Because we have the name of the seed and the amount, right? Because the problem is, if we don't do this, what's going to happen is it's going to create an instance of carrot, then it's going to do the same thing for 23. I don't know if that really makes sense and stuff, but the point is we just need to skip every other one. I don't think I explained that right, or not right, but I don't think I explained that good enough. But the point is, right, this is 1, this is 2, because it goes name, amount, name, amount, name, amount, name, amount. So like 1, 2, so 1 will be name, 2 will be the amount, 3 will be name, 4 will be amount, 5, you get it? Like odd numbers will be the name, even numbers will be the amount. So yeah, so that's why we need to do that. And then continue means it'll skip to the next iteration. So yeah. Anyway, so then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna use our seed code, which we can actually just go down here and just copy and paste. So you can just go down here again, just get this time get the seed and the seed tool code. So copy, go back, paste. Now we have our seed. So same thing, only difference is changing the name, seed data, regular bracket, I and stuff, right? Just to be clarified, I is a number, right? So I will be the number. I is a number and stuff, just so y'all know. Right, so the way this will start at 1, because keep in mind, odd numbers, this is odd numbers, right? Remember, names are odd numbers. Values will be even numbers. So then what we need to do is we need to go here, we need to say C data, regular bracket I plus 1, right? And then because we have this will always be an odd number, this will be an even number. The way it's going to work is it'll start at 1, right? 1 divided by 2 will not have a remainder of 0, right? So what it'll do is it'll proceed, the name will be the first value, then this will be 1 plus 1, so 2, right? And then the value will be the second value. Then it'll, go to 2. It'll be like, okay, that's divisible by 2 and it has a remainder of 0, so we skip it, and then it'll just go on so forth and stuff. So I hope I explained that so people can understand. But anyway, we have our seed tool, right? You're going to say name is equal to seed, not seed, or sorry, not seed data, seed dot name, right? Then player dot backpack, right? And then we're also gonna add this later on stuff, but yeah. So after that, you're then gonna say seed tool dot equipped connect function close parentheses enter. Then you will get a seed amount, which is equal to player dot seed inventory regular bracket seed dot name, go on the outside dot value. Then you will fire the mode event core event fire client singular to that specific player, comma, quotation marks, put info, name of the event, comma, seed tool dot name, right, comma, seed amount, right. So you send over how much the player currently has. Then you will skip 3 ends, and then we will do the exact same thing. So you can really just copy and paste this whole part. So we just all the C data stuff we just did. We're just going to do the same thing essentially. So now we're going to go right here. We're going to switch this to make sure you switch everything because I see people make this mistake all the time. So plan data, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Okay, so we switched it all to plant data. Then the same logic applies here. For plants, it'll be the name of the plant. Then for the second value, it'll be how much it weighs and stuff, right? So we're plant data. So this, we need a plant tool and then our plant value. So we're just going to, you can really just go down here. This time you're going to go to, wait, where's the, where's like the plant? Where's the planting stuff? Oh, I remember. Okay, okay. Open up the module script. That's where it is. Yes, it's just open up the module script, right? And then you're gonna go here. This is where you're gonna get your stuff. You're gonna steal this code. Oh, my bad. So the plant tool and the plant value. Copy that. Go back to the server scripts. Then you're just gonna overwrite. You're gonna overwrite right here. Yeah, all this. So the last end up to here. So delete that. Paste. And then boom, now we have our plant tool. We have all the stuff. So for plant tool, the name will be equal to, just like we did, plant data, regular bracket, I, right? Then we go down here for our plant value. Then this will be, same thing, plant data, I, then plant value dot value and stuff. We already have the weight memorized, so we'll say I plus 1, so same thing. Same logic applies, then player dot plant inventory. Wait, what? Oh, my bad, I forgot the plant data on the outside. So there we go, plant data, I plus 1, and then we are, okay, we are good. But yeah, so you'll just have that there. Huh. I don't know why it sent me all the way down, but anyway. So plant data, I plus 1, right? So we have that. I'm just making sure everything looks good because we're doing a lot of copying and pasting, so I just want to make sure everything looks good. Okay, so we should be good with that. So then you're going to go ahead, you're going to skip 3 ends. You're going to use a while not success. Then do enter. There you go. So the reason for this while loop is to ensure that if the data retrieval process fails, it'll continue to keep trying and stuff, assuming the player has data to load and stuff, right? Because data retrieval can fail, especially like in a big game and stuff, right? So we need to have measures in place to ensure that players' data does load. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go up here into the entire protected call function. You're just gonna copy everything inside. So from stats data all the way to the bottom. Now I'm trying to think actually, because how much of this? So that's the if statement. That's the if statements, and then that's the for. Okay, so then you're just gonna go down to the second end. Yeah, you're just gonna go down to the second end. So copy. You're just gonna grab all that inside. Yeah. So just ignore the end with a parenthesis at the right parenthesis at the end. Then go inside the while not success do. Paste. Boom. Then space. Then you're gonna need to add a test that way because it is a while loop. So you can just do 3 seconds, but the duration is up to you guys and stuff. I'm just gonna put a task that way 3 seconds, so it'll continue to keep trying and stuff. Just in the event that It is not successful. Okay, so we have now made data loading. We need to do actual data saving. That was just the data loading and stuff, right? And I promise data saving is actually, ironically, data saving is it's a lot easier and requires a lot less work than data loading and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead. You're just gonna go after. So remember, these variables are gonna go before them, after the entire player data add function. So after that entire gigantic, because now it's just a gigantic function. So now you're gonna say game.players.player removing. So when a player is leaving, connect function in parentheses, put PLR just for the player who left. Enter. Now, same thing with the key. So key is equal to player.user ID. Of course, this has to be consistent. Do not have, I repeat, do not have two different things here. Do not have this be one thing and this be a different thing and stuff. Obviously, make these the same thing and stuff. It makes no sense to try to like, you know, it's like using, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like using your school ID to get in somewhere, to get into one place, and then trying to use your driver license ID to get into another place. Like, or using the ID numbers, I should say. Except for technically your IDs are the same, but your ID numbers and stuff. So same thing with the projector call. So local success, comma, error message. So the same drill as we did before is equal to pcall function, close parentheses, enter, right? And then you're going to create data tables. So stats data table is equal to special brackets, then create a seed data table, again equal to special brackets, then plant data table, which is equal to special brackets, right? After that, you're going to say table.insert. So this is very simple for the first one. So stats data table, comma, player.leader stats dot shekels dot value. So we've added the shekels, right? So now we've saved money. So now we need to save seeds and plants. So we're going to say for I comma v in pairs. Then you're going to say player.seed inventory, right? Get children. We're going to save all the seeds. So parentheses, go on the outside, enter. Then you're going to say table.insert, right? You're going to say seed data table, comma, make sure it's going into the right data table, by the way. So v.name. So the name of the seed, then follow up with table.insert, seed data table, comma, v.value. So how many seeds do you have, or how much of that seed do you have, right? Then you can pretty much just copy and paste that for our loop. So just copy and go after, paste, and then this time you're just going to do plant inventory, and then obviously you're just going to change this to plant data table, control C, control V, then same thing applies, the name of the plant and then how much it weighs, right? Then after the for I loop, put some space, then you're just going to say stats data store, or not data table, so store set async, right? You're going to put your key, comma, then you're going to add the stats data table. Then you're going to do the same thing. So seed data store set async key seed data table. Then plant data store set async key. And then you're going to put the plant data table, right? That's simple. And then just like that, we're done. Then you're going to skip that one end. And then you're going to say while not success, enter. So same thing as before. You're just going to copy everything inside of the protected call function just like we did before. So you're going to copy that. You're going to paste that. Then after that, you're going to skip a line. Then just do task that wait 3 seconds. Again, put however much time you want to wait for. That's up to y'all, right? Then we're going to scroll down. I believe this is the last change. You're just going to go, I think it's actually right. Yeah, it's actually right here. So you're going to go find the seed tool, right? Yeah, you're going to go find the seed tool right here in the buy event. So this is actually just the same. We can actually just save ourselves some time here. Go up to this part right here. You guys recall how we did this for the info stuff? Just copy that. Literally just copy that entire thing and then just go down here. Just go down here and then just paste that right there for the seed tool, right? Boom. And stuff. This is so that whenever a player buys it, it'll automatically work. But that is for when the player dies and like respawns. So just like that, we're done with the server script. We're actually almost done altogether. So then you're going to go to the core module. Literally one thing to do here. Just skip a line. All we have to do is this is all y'all had to do. Because a lot of people were complaining about this. All you guys have to do is just do seed, destroy. In the collect plant function, all you have to do is just destroy the seed once you were done, which will destroy the, wait, that is destroy the original thing, right? Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like left over or anything. Yeah, okay. So yeah, because wait, let me actually hold on. Let me check. Let me just double check. Where's the destroy function? I want to just confirm that when you destroy the parts times. Let's see. All right. Okay, I think that's it, but I'll double check that. Okay, so let's go ahead and publish and let's go ahead and test to make sure this works. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, you can just read the description to find out more about that. Okay, so stats data. Oh, I think the reason why that's happening honestly is because I think that's because I tested before and stuff. Oh, probably also because I've used that same data store name, so that's probably why. So just ignore it. So just ignore what's going on in my output. Okay, so first things first. Yeah, that's probably why I have 0 shekels now that I think about it. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to give myself some shekels, so I'm gonna switch to the server side. You guys probably don't have to do this since you probably already have shekels and stuff. So if you have shekels, all you need to do is just go buy stuff. So I'm just gonna go so I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna buy some seeds, right? So boom. So keep track of how much shekels I have. I have 40 shekels, I have 1 carrot seed and 1 strawberry seed. So let me go ahead and press stop. And then you probably notice a slight delay with loading in and but more so leaving, right? And then boom, I come back, I have a carrot seed, strawberry seed, and 40 shekels. And then as you can see, the values are inside of the seed inventory and stuff. As for plants, and then as you can see now, it tells me how many of the said seed I have when I equip it for a few seconds, right? Now if I go ahead and go plant them, you will see once the plant is finished growing and stuff, right? I will collect it and then you can watch it be destroyed as well as watch the fact that when I rejoin, it will automatically be inside of my inventory just like the seeds were. So it's done growing now. So collect, boom, destroyed. Right? Like I said before, if you get that error message, perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. But that reminds me, I do want to check. This is Garden One. Which seed that is? This thing is 4. Yes, it's 4. Okay, nice. Okay, so it destroyed. Okay, perfect. So yeah. So now we have the carrot and the strawberry seed, right? So now if I stop testing, like I said, that little delay that indicates that your data is being saved. Boom, we come back, you have the carrot and stuff. Obviously, like it changed the order, but it doesn't really matter because it's gonna come like when you come back, it's gonna be in a different order, obviously, because it loads seeds then plants. But couldn't I couldn't fathom why anybody would honestly care about that. But yeah, so we have our plant with how much it weighs, and yeah, so that right there, covered something that a change that people wanted for a while, something that I know a few people definitely cared about. Someone pointed out to me, and then I fixed a bug, and then we introduced the first half of our data saving stuff. So if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like and subscribe. If you guys enjoyed the video, just let me know in the comments if you enjoyed and stuff. Again, I will continue dropping more um how to make a garden videos and stuff as long as you guys continue to show the series lots of love and support. And by the way, guys, just because I start uploading stuff for Forsaken or other series, please do not start panicking and stuff, right? Like, do not start panicking and stuff, right? Or if I don't upload a video for like two days, chill, guys. I'm just doing other stuff. Like, I will continue Grow Gardening. Y'all are showing it love and support. I will only stop if the series stops getting love. So yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.